If you keep using the R word, we're going to have a problem.
Oh, shit, he's got it.
It's playing out of there. There you go. Now you can hear it.
I'm loose.
Turn up. Yeah. What's that?
That's all for you, buddy.
All right. Great.
Yeah. Well, hey there, neighborinos. How are you today? Jimmy Spice checking in with $2 Tony. How was your week, Tony?
I had a great week.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
It was 4th of July this week.
It was.
Did you blow some shit up?
I did not do any fireworking, but I did celebrate America as I do every day. I love my country so much.
Same.
You know, we've done some problematic bad stuff in the past, but still the most diverse biomes of any country, you know? From sea to shining sea, purple mountain majesty, amber waves of grain. Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
I like it. So in what ways do you celebrate it? Just with words or?
I don't know. I read about history. I was reading about Benjamin Franklin being called over to talk to the King's Privy Council. So basically he like leaked this letter from the governor of Massachusetts being like shitting on all the Massachusetts people. Yeah. And then the Massachusetts colonists were like, all right, we want the governor removed. Ben Franklin, you have to go over and talk to the King's like high council about this. And he went over there prepared to make an argument for this. It's right after the Boston Tea Party. And they basically just like berated him and blamed him for the Boston Tea Party, which was not his idea, which he was opposed to for like 2 hours. And he just sat there like, okay, bet. And they're like, do you have anything to say for yourself? And he was just like, nope. And he was undecided about revolution before that. And then he went back and he was like, let's fucking turn this bitch up, dude.
I forget. I was listening to, Ken Burns just made a new documentary, or he's finishing it about the Revolutionary War. And he had a theory about the Boston Tea Party that was interesting because they dressed up like Indians when they did it. But I think it was like a flex. It was like a tribal. It wasn't actually that they wanted them to think that it was
wasn't
Indians,
like a
right?
false flag.
No, that was just them being tribal.
For sure.
Yeah. Which is kind of an interesting idea that they were still had that mentality.
Even though they were doing bad stuff to the Indians, they did have like a lot of respect for them and the degree to which they understood the land and everything.
Yeah, man. Have you ever watched Dances with Wolves?
I have not, but...
Whoa. We'll address that on an entire episode.
The movie that we're talking about has a lot to do with, I think, the land of America and stuff.
We're going to get into that.
I didn't enjoy this whole movie. There's parts of it that I did not enjoy. The end where they all sing God Bless America got me hype, and I did stand up and salute my laptop.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this movie in depth. I don't think the movie's so much about Vietnam or America as some people...
About deer.
I think it's about trauma. And how different men deal with trauma.
We're going to get into fucking men's mental health again.
No. No, but I just think it's very interesting. If you think hard enough as a guy growing up, you probably know each of those three characters.
Sure.
Or are one of them and know the other two.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what it really is. It came out at a time where that was the backdrop.
Which one are you? I'm a Mike for sure. Strong, silent type.
No, I'm a Nikki. For
You're
sure.
Nikki.
Yeah, I'm Nikki all day.
Spaz out, kill yourself.
Yeah, I get the beautiful girl. Like, I'm that guy.
Not in the end, bro. Mike, I sneaked in.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, you were away at war. I Jodied your ass.
I lose my mind. I'm very soft, gooey insides, charismatic outsides. Okay, so Trevor's here. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
You picked Deer Hunter.
I did.
Yeah, Deer Hunter was a great choice.
Yep.
So I have so much to say because I guess we just go ahead and get right into the movie. We have plenty of other things to talk about. The Foo Fighters, you're not getting off that hook, and there's some other things, but we're gonna get right into the Deer Hunter.
All right, let's do it.
Because when I first watched this movie, I was like 16 years old, and I had already seen Full Metal Jacket and Platoon and like your typical Vietnam movie, and this isn't that.
No.
There's like no fucking war scenes. Their only real Vietnam scene is this Russian roulette scene. That is probably the most insanely tense thing I've ever filmed.
There is that scene where he's got the flamethrower.
He barbecues the guy. Yeah, he waits until the guy shoots the innocent woman, and then he's like,
Yeah, that is a
That's
weird
like
thing.
the first scene that you
the
see
opening of
fighting.
that scene is a guy opening a trap door, and there's like 20 women and children
Chucks
inside
a
of this
grenade
thing.
in there.
Throws a grenade
Goes in there, kills them all. Yep.
Yeah, very specifically all women and children.
Yes.
It's very brutal. So it's like immediately in the middle of this brutal war scene. And there's all this stuff behind the scenes about the POW Russian Roulette scene that I was reading that like nobody knew what the hell was going on. This director he couldn't find people that were local and in like the movie scene to smack Robert De Niro. So he went and hired strangers. The main character that's Viet Cong was some Thai guy who like famously hated Americans and was leading like a militia to keep Americans out of that area. And they went and talked to him and they got him in the movie.
So he was putting some stank
He
on
fucking
it.
hated Robert De Niro at just what he stood for as an American. And
I
then,
do now.
Yeah, and well, and then that scene where we talked about this last night, the scene where Stevie's in the cage and he's screaming about the rats.
Oh God, Michael, there's rats in here.
He didn't know there was going to be rats in the water. He's screaming at the director.
Yeah.
The director's name was Michael. And they just kept that scene in the movie because it matched up with the thing.
Yeah, the
dude
wild.
was freaking out. He was like, "Hey, bro,
out.
there's fucking rats in here," and he's like strapped into a bamboo. None of that was like movied up.
He's in that bamboo cage.
I mean, this is maybe
just
my
enough.
critique of the movie is it's kind of a mess. Like a lot of it doesn't make sense, doesn't seem real.
I think what it is. So I once heard Quentin Tarantino describe suspense as like pulling a rubber band, and how far can you pull it before it snaps? And that to me, so however they might, because one of the Oscars this movie won for was sound editing. Did you know that?
There's great music.
And the sound of the hammer of the revolvers is like turned up and it's super louder than it would be in real life. And it's super long. Yeah. There's one where it seems like it takes 8 fucking seconds for the hammer on this gun to fall back. And to me, it just feels like suspense.
Sure.
And the messiness of it all contributes to that.
Do we want to kind of get into it from the jump, from the top?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
kind of just went ADD as fuck on that, but
yeah. So we can stop and go off as we come through it. But I know Trevor's got notes. I have obviously notes. Starts off. I really like this opening scene in the steelworks. It's like if you had asked me how steel gets made, I would be like, I don't fucking know, but it looks like another planet. They have these insane outfits on, and they're in there going to town making the steel.
So a refinery, I guess. So
and apparently
they melt the elements together and then form them.
You work overnight, so then they get out and they all go get drunk in the morning. One of my favorite activities. But we have like our main group.
I love movies like this where like Pushing 10 is like that, where it's all night crew and that like one of the scenes is them getting drunk in the morning.
Such a good feeling.
Yeah,
then you go pass out, get McDonald's breakfast. Come on.
Yeah, like 10:30, drunk and passed out.
But it's Mike, Robert De Niro, Nick, played by Christopher Walken, Stanley, played by John Cazale, who I know you want to get into him.
Yeah, we're doing a John Cazale for sure.
Yeah.
There's a guy named John, who the actor's name is like George DeZunzu, and then there's John Savage plays Stevie. And this day in particular, Stevie is getting married.
You got Meryl Streep as Linda as well.
Meryl Streep as Linda, thank you.
Yep.
And Steven is getting married to Angela, and we see her looking in the mirror, looking anxious, and she's like gripping on her tummy.
Baby bumping.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I'm so pregnant. Which is not a big deal, except we find out later, not by Stevie, because he never busted in her.
Yeah. Who are we thinking? Do we have an idea? It's got to be one of the guys. There's only like 7 men in this.
Is Stevie mentally challenged?
Maybe. I don't know. By today's standards, absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. Back then, I'm not so sure, but I think in the way that things have evolved over time, I'd say he is today.
He would be medicated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He just seems from the beginning like just kind of like a helpless spaz.
Yeah. Well, that's to my point. The whole movie's like archetypes of people.
For sure.
Like Christopher Walken is like the funniest looking handsome guy ever. He's like, you know what I mean? And he's all tall and he's like your super basic ladies man.
Nick, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looks like a male ballerina sort of or whatever, but
And we see there's another guy. Actually, I'm not a Mike. I'm an Axe. Axel.
Yeah, you fucking wish, dude.
He's a G. So he's this big bearded guy that's played by a real life steel foreman. That when they were going out and like scouting locations for the movie, they met this guy. They're like, "You got to be in the movie, dude." And he's cool as hell.
He's the best. Yeah.
He's kind of just like the. You know, he
You
gets
talk
drunk.
way too much to be an Axel, dude.
Dude, I'm Axe. He like humps one of the bridesmaids really hard.
Or he picks her up and
tries to rape her.
I don't even know if you hear what he says. He's like, "Should we fuck or fight?"
Yeah, I saw that on the yeah. But as you're saying, Linda, played by Meryl Streep, we see her bringing a tray of food up to her drunk dad. Crazy scene. He's like ranting about flat tires, and he's like kind of so out of it that he can't really get up off the floor. But then instinct comes through. He still gets it together enough to smack the shit out of his daughter.
Yeah. Pretty intense.
Leaves a mark on her face. Nice one.
Dude, he telegraphs this punch. Just like, dodge it. Girl, come on. She's like, oh no, Dad. And he's like, wham. But
I actually didn't pick up that was her dad at first. I thought.
Who do you think it was? That's our man or something?
Yeah. Thought he wanted it because he was dancing with her and then the singer steps in, right?
No.
This is before the wedding.
This is
well before the wedding.
She brings a tray of food up to her drunk father and he smacks her in the face.
Oh, Meryl Streep's character.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're fast forwarding a lot.
Yeah, I was fast forwarding. Yes. Yeah.
Stanley is
Definitely
not the
thought that
father
was
of
her
the
dad.
woman that he punches out.
No, he's hitting on her. That's right.
That's his like girlfriend, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so we see them gambling on pool. They also have this little bet where Mike is like driving really fast, going past this truck, and they're like placing bets on whether he's going to make it. But
yeah, they're a wild bunch.
Yeah,
on the way to the bar right after work. Yep.
There's this theme of gambling that gets set up kind of early on.
Yeah.
That they're all betting on stuff all the time. Yeah. And Stevie, I wrote he's like getting a little too drunk, but I think that's just maybe how he is because he's like getting hammered with them and just making like weird autistic facial expressions. And
I think he's just that guy. He's the emotional one. He's doomed from the jump.
Maybe so.
You know what I mean?
He's a big simp and a cuckold. He's getting married to a lady who's pregnant by another guy.
Exactly.
You know, did you see the scene before that when they're at the bar and her mom comes outside and she's like beating the crap out of him outside the bar?
That's about to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that her mom or his mom?
I think it would be Angela's mom, I believe.
Oh, okay. I thought it was his mom.
But like, there was some just by the way he was reacting to that, I thought was like a little odd. You know, we were just talking about whether or not we thought he'd be
mentally challenged.
Right. Just seemed like the way he was responding to that, in my opinion, like made it a little.
I thought he was just drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
It's possible.
10 a.m.
Very
drunk.
possible, yeah.
10 a.m. drunk looks a lot like retarded.
It does. It does. Functionally very similar. But the bartender is John, who's like the big fat party animal of the group, and he gives Steven a big smooch, and Stan calls him a F slur, calls him a faggot.
Yes, F slur.
There's a lot of F slurs in the movie.
Yep.
But Mike and Nick go back. They live together. Ideal male living space, bro.
Trailer
with
Top of a hill.
hunting trophies all over the walls.
Yep. Top of the hill too. Overlooks the whole town.
It does.
I love it.
Sick view. It is. And it looks like, and I think that Mike has like a little spot across the street there too.
Mike and Nick live together.
Right, but I'm saying across the street from that little trailer there, they have a little spot too. I feel like
I see.
You'll see later in the movie.
Later when he's peeping.
Right. When he, well, I'm sure we'll get into that. That's later in the movie. But
is there like a more, standard society of America than rural Pennsylvania in the 70s, dude? I mean, or 60s, I guess.
Particularly, these are all Slavic, like second generation.
Yeah, it just feels very America to me.
Poland and
steel workers. Yeah. It's cold. It's very tough. These guys are made to look like they're at least
Right.
Everyone but Stevie. But even, he still goes to war. They're like excited to go to war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all very tough.
And they have this, was kind of what I was getting at earlier. They have this appreciation for the land.
Yeah. The
where
way
Mike and Nick are like all the different kinds of trees and the mountains.
Yeah,
and there are these beautiful shots of the mountains.
Man, big time.
Absolutely. And I relate to that. I mean, I grew up in Pennsylvania.
You did?
Yeah.
And where I grew up though, in Northeast PA, it was coal miners. Like that's what.
Yeah.
That was where like Scranton was. So I can kind of understand that, seeing the mountains like that. It's especially with the Four Seasons, it is very majestic at times to see that.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah, it is.
And then like the way that they hunt. They run with their rifles. They don't like go up in deer stands.
Right.
Yeah.
And lazy shit. They're like Literally
chasing these damn deer
chasing
down.
them
Chasing the
and
deer around the
squatting
rocks,
and
yep.
firing.
And Mike has this theory that he kind of introduces at this point where he says you have to take a deer in one shot.
Yeah.
So if you miss, you just give up, basically.
I gotcha. And then we even get a feeling that he's like really tied to the land when that the sun is doing that effect when
There's
they
a
come out of
sundog thing earlier when they come out of the steel factory.
He says
looks
it's a good
up and he's
omen
like,
for
that's
the
a good omen.
Yeah, for the
Oh, he sees it up in the clouds.
Yeah.
That's right.
People kind of throughout the movie refer to Mike as being like weird.
yeah.
You also notice how he's telling Nikki at one point in the house that he doesn't like hunting with the other guys. He only likes hunting with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's very like
They're
particular
boys.
about what he's doing. You know, it's almost like he doesn't want to go hunting with, you know, Steven or Axel, these guys like out there for whatever reason. Probably
Definitely
'cause
not
they're
Stan.
Fucking hates Stan.
Yeah.
Stan sucks.
Yeah, he tries him big time too. And Stan shows up with like a snub nose 38. And
This is when they go hunting, yeah. But
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the bridesmaids all come over to Mike and Nick's house. Axel is like humping Mike's car. Hilarious,
Yeah.
dude. And then Linda
It's a
shows
dope
up.
car.
Shows up and she runs up to Nick and she's like, "Boo, Nicky."
She's all busted up.
And he's like, "Devachka, what's wrong?" And she's like, "He hit me, man."
That was a good voice. Yeah.
And basically asks if she can stay in Mike and Nick's house while they're in Vietnam. Like, can I move in here? We get the feeling that like the way that Mike and Nick look at her, they're both kind of like love this chick. This is something that I do really enjoy about this movie. You get the feeling all these people like grew up together from deep early childhood.
For sure.
And
For sure.
they're like family to one another.
Yeah, I think we talked about this the other day. Like the beginning of the movie, a lot of people were like boring, Snore City,
No,
blah blah.
I loved every part that they're in America. It was when they're in
Yeah.
Vietnam that I'm like, this is preposterous.
It's great, dude. I think though, to me, it feels like it all takes a lot of time because they're really building their characters. Because
Sure.
they're about to fuck everybody up.
Yeah.
And they want you to like know these people. And over one event too. They're not gonna like take years and like show you, you know, you basically learn everything about these people's lives in one night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they, like you said, they all grew up together. They live in this very religious, like the ceremony for the wedding is super
Crazy.
ceremonial. Well, it's just you know,
it's so in depth. Like
yeah, it's like Orthodox.
I
Right?
love it.
Yeah.
I wish that
Yeah.
there were more cool traditions like that, where they're all walking around holding the crown over Steve's head.
Yeah.
There's a great backstory to the dual cup that they drink out of, and if you spill,
Yeah.
and then so Cimino had a special cup specially built for that scene that was supposed to drip out of her mouth, and it took him like an entire 18-hour day. He was trying to get the shot and it just wouldn't work, and they ended up doing it where the shot of the actual dripping is him standing out of frame over her, dripping red liquid onto her dress, which I thought was wild that was that important to him, because it is kind of the omen for the whole,
Yeah, I mean, it sets
Turn
up
of
that their
events or
marriage
whatever.
is doomed.
that everything is doomed.
And at this point, we don't know that it's not his baby.
Yeah, see, one of the reasons I picked this movie was due to how you were just talking about how it kind of starts off slow. You know, my dad had me watch this probably like 2018, and I remember the first like 45 minutes I was sitting there and I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just couldn't, and he just kept on telling me, he's like, just sit down and watch it. You know, and then like it just kicks in so hard, but that I had to rewatch it to see a lot of things. But I remember specifically thinking like, what is that? I could not get into it at first with just the slowness of the start of it, but it does propel you right into this craziness that I
That's
was
what they're
stuck on.
doing, yeah.
You feel like you know these people when they're going through the stuff later. So I think that's very effective. And there's all these meaningful glances, like Steven and Angela look really nervous during the ceremony, and Mike and Linda are kind of like gazing at one another. And so then everybody throws rice. The car is covered in streamers. I love these customs. We need to bring that back. Throwing the rice everywhere. So sick. I guess you're not supposed to do it now because birds eat it and they go kablooey, but...
Yeah, supposedly.
Linda is dancing with Nick, and she catches Mike staring at her. Meanwhile, there's this other, like, dark-haired girl
At the table.
who thinks that Mike is looking at her, and she's kind of like... and Mike's, like, staring over her shoulder at Linda.
Yep.
But the
Obsessed.
dark-haired girl, low-key banging.
She is.
Yeah.
She is fine.
She's a sweetie.
This is another though, like very familiar tale, like best friends in love with the same woman.
Sure, and you get the sense that Nick. Does Nick know? Because then Linda asked Nick to dance. Linda asked Nick to dance, and he's like, no. And he grabs Mike and like pushes Mike on her, and Mike like can't take it seriously and is just kind of swinging her around wildly. He's like, hey, you want a beer? And she's like, yeah, I guess. He's like, what kind of beer do you want?
Yeah.
And then he pulls her over to the bar with him.
I think Nick is like, aware of the
He's
idea.
aware of Mike's crush, but he doesn't think it's serious.
He thinks that their friendship is stronger, which he's probably right.
Right.
I mean, they'll never find
now.
Yeah. Well, they'll never find out. I mean,
But yeah,
he does try to kiss her. He has a few too many drinks. I think that's an alcohol thing. I mean,
you see how he leans in real quick and then he pulls his head back, turns his head like at the bar.
Yeah, he brings her over to the bar and he accidentally like slams her into the bar and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, it's okay to be drunk at a wedding. This feels like very real of this girl kind of oh, this guy, I can tell he likes me and I'm trying to keep him at arm's length, but yeah.
He's cute and everything.
He says, you really like Nikki a lot. She's like, yeah. And he's like, like leans back away from her. That feels really, De Niro's like crushing it as this kind of like drunk, lovelorn guy just being like, damn, I like this chick, but fuck.
He never didn't crush it from like,
he's a great actor.
His character in the movie is phenomenal.
Yeah, late 90s.
This is 2 movies in a row that we've talked about with Bobby D in it.
Yeah.
Because he's in Silver Linings Playbook also.
That's true.
Another Pennsylvania movie also.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Go Birds.
Love the themes.
Yep.
But so probably my favorite scene in the movie, the singer of the band that's on stage, who later shows up, works with Linda later in the movie.
Yeah, he's
who works the
grocery store owner or whatever.
Yeah, he's this kind of like handsome guy, and he's up there singing. He does, can't take my eyes off of you. So then I
feel like he's a Godfather alum too.
He might be.
Yeah, he seems like it.
Let me ask you this. What are you doing if you're dancing with your best gal and somebody comes up and asks to cut in?
Back then, it was customary. Yeah?
What would you do now?
I'd probably just be like, nah.
No, you may not cut in.
Yeah.
To me, them's fighting words.
Yeah.
You're trying to... You see, I'm here dancing with my best girl.
But that was customary, right?
Back in the day, there was...
That was like
may I cut in? No, you may not.
I think...
So then am I wrong because I fucking punch a guy with brass knuckles after he tries to cut in on me with my sweetie?
Yeah, you can't just start the violence. I mean, you can if you want, but that's not going to be...
If you try to cut in on me, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to pull out a box cutter and slash your throat.
You keep a box cutter?
Yeah, man.
Handy.
At the dance, anyway.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean,
keep it tucked in my cummerbund.
Shit, anymore, everybody's strapped, bro.
Right. These days, people just react completely differently to it. They take like much more offense to it than I feel like they would have back in the day.
Well, also nowadays people are freak dancing and grinding, so it's like you're rubbing your crotch on some chick, and then someone's like, "May I cut in?" Like it's not going to go the same way.
Yeah, but at the same time, guys are like letting their women do OF, and it's like,
hey man, independent lady, you can do what she wants.
And not
Look,
if she's
coming
in a
home to me.
devoted relationship.
She's coming home to me.
I seriously disagree with that. I do not think that that's appropriate at all.
All right.
This
is the subject of 300 other podcasts.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know if we need to get into that.
And no one's talking about Deer Hunter, so let's fucking get it.
Yeah.
So the singer cuts in on Stanley and this bridesmaid, who I think Stanley is already, as Stanley says later in the movie, he gets more ass in the toilet seat. So
he does.
With his balding self.
Yeah, anyone that says that is obviously not. He's using probably cocaine. That's how he gets ladies.
Maybe.
It's with cocaine.
But she's dancing with Stanley, and then the singer comes in. He's like, "May I cut in?" and starts dancing with, and the singer's like, "You known this guy a long time?" And we don't really hear her answer, but he starts like fully grabbing her ass through her big poofy bridesmaid's dress. And this is a great scene. Stanley's go over there like sitting with John, and he's infuriated. He's like, "You see what he's doing, right? You see what he's doing?
Yeah,
he's grabbing her ass." And John is crying, laughing about this. This is very, when you're hammered and your friend's like upset about a babe, and you're just like, this feels super real. And Stan's like, "I'm gonna go get my gun," and John's like, "Go get your gun," like just egging him on. But he's infuriated, He goes up and he taps the guy on the shoulder, and the comedic timing of this is perfect. He like taps the guy on the shoulder. The guy turns to him, and then Stanley just punches the girl in the face.
Yeah.
Full on. And the guy who's dancing with her just goes,
He looks at it, turns around, and walks away.
Yeah, and it
Walks
doesn't.
off.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he. For a second, I rewound it because I was like, did he try to swing at the guy and miss?
Nah.
Because that's what you'd think, would happen.
it's setting it up to make you think he's going to say something to this guy or punch the guy,
No,
but then
he
he
just knocks the lady out. Yeah.
literally knocks her out.
Yeah. But then they're kissing later.
I know.
Another
Jeez,
thing.
Spoiler, bro. You're skipping ahead.
Well, I mean, come on.
But
Another thing.
Stanley
is-
tries to fight Nick.
Yeah.
And ends up collapsing on the ground. Everybody's laughing at him. But then, his girl gets up. She, pouts a little bit. And she's like, you punched me. And he's like, I know. And he kisses her on the chin right where he punched her.
So in the same time frame or in history where you could tap a guy on the shoulder and dance with his girl is also the time frame where you can knock a lady unconscious and she'll give you a peck on the cheek 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Different time.
Yeah.
Not always. I think that this is a reflection of perhaps, a toxic relationship between Stan and this chick.
I think
but-
toxic relationships were a whole lot more common then than they are
Sure.
now.
And it used to be a thing where your boy gets married and you're all paired up with the bridesmaids. You've known all these girls since childhood, and it's like, I'm getting with Michelle. I'm getting with this. Made me nostalgic for an easier time. Before OnlyFans,
the
before
outfits. I
Tinder.
loved the pink bridesmaids outfits. I thought that
Right.
was very
For sure.
small town America or whatever. So yeah, the wedding continues.
We see Mike drunk as hell, alone at the bar with Linda. Everybody else is gone, and he's kind of trying to nuzzle on her. He just sort of puts his face in her boobs, and she's like, ugh, she's looking around for an escape route, and then she sees Nick, and if you notice, she runs up and she kisses Nick on the mouth, and then turns and looks at Mike.
Yeah.
As if to be like, yo, what are you doing?
The whole entire triangle of affair there is so prevalent just from the beginning of the movie.
It does set it up as it's she likes Nick. She doesn't want to hurt Mike's feelings. Mike is clearly into her, but doesn't know how to move on it.
Yeah, well,
And Nick has got more riz.
yeah, and Nick, we've learned very soon. Keep spoiling, just to move things forward. Is getting ready to ask this lady a pretty serious question.
I think it's totally impulsive.
You
I
think
don't think
so?
he's planning any of this right now.
He doesn't give her a ring or anything like that.
No, man. He doesn't even get on one knee.
No, you think he just does it in the moment. That might be something. You might be onto something there, because it is kind of during a very high emotional moment of the ceremony.
Yeah.
And he's just feeling the
She
vibe.
catches a bouquet.
That's right.
I'm going to 5 weddings this year. That's going to be me. I'm grabbing that bouquet. I'm wrestling it out of women's hands. I want to get married so bad.
You're desperate.
I'm always a bridesmaid, never the bride, bro. My biological clock is ticking.
So the ceremony continues,
They run into this green beret at the bar.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think that scene is
Yep.
important.
and
It
he's
is.
not really interested in
not at
talking
all.
to these guys.
You see, it's the guy's excited to go to war, and then the guy that's back from war and knows what it's like
Yeah.
over there.
What's
Literally-
the phrase that he says to them?
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Okay.
And Nick says, "I hope I go where the bullets are flying."
Yeah, and Mike is like, "What you mean, fuck it?" And he wants to fight the guy.
Yeah,
a little
Mike's
bit.
trashed.
Yeah, he's trashed. He's also he's a fucking alpha dog, bro. And he's
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm giving you my attention. He doesn't understand not being respected by this guy.
For sure.
Yeah, so
But then Linda catches the bouquet, and she's looking at Nick kind of teary-eyed, and he looks at her, and he just very impulsively is like, "Do you want to marry me?"
hey, you want to get married?
And she's like, "Yes." And he's like, "I mean, when we get back."
Yeah.
I don't think about these things. And she goes I think what goes through your mind comes out your mouth. And that is very much his character.
Yeah.
De Niro's
Methodical.
overthinking stuff.
Yeah.
And Nicky just has this very easy swag,
I can
Yeah.
relate.
So you think that's you?
I'm 100% that guy.
You're Nick.
Oh yeah, better looking.
Who are you, Trevor? Who do you
I don't
identify
answer.
with in the cast?
I feel like I'm a Mike. There's I don't know, the way he carries himself, just being that he seems like a leader. He's
Why
the
does
one
nobody
to
want to
speak
be
up.
Steve?
Sick in the head.
Do we know anybody who's a Steve? There's always a Steve.
There's a Steve in every family.
Yeah, but let's not take too much quiet air trying to figure that out. When you realize it's Steve, you want to give a shout out on the pie.
For sure. My friend Adam Stukrath is kind of a Steve. He's very smart, but he is also has no idea what's going on at any time.
Right.
Shout out to Adam. And he's not going to watch this because he gets distracted after 2 minutes. So.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll make a short for him.
Sure. But they kiss hard. Beautiful, big smooch between Meryl Streep and Nick. Mm-hmm. Between Linda and Nick. But
you get very happy about their future together.
I don't, because I can tell that Mike likes her, and I'm sort of rooting for Mike.
Makes me almost like nervous. Why? Like, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Kinda,
like something is gonna happen here, and I'm just like kind of at that point. I think I was starting to get like a little more interested in the movie at that point, just due to that, you know. And then just like moving forward to right after this wedding, it gets like real interesting in my opinion.
And I get the sense. My thing is, it feels to me like Nick takes this chick for granted.
Or maybe.
Like he's just like, yeah, sure. You want to get married? Whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's,
I also feel like Nick knows that Mike loves her.
Yeah.
Too. So it's like he's kind of caught in the. He's caught. It's a weird. I told you, it's like a love triangle. It's odd.
Yeah, and so him knowing that his friend has feelings for this chick and just being like, whatever, I'm gonna fucking marry her. I don't care.
Right. I mean,
he's the villain of the movie.
Yeah.
And he deserves everything he gets. But the wedding is extremely elaborate. They go outside. Stevie confesses that he's never had sex with Angela. He's like, I never did it with Angela.
Yeah, and that's
why.
What?
Why?
Why did he never do her, or why is he confessing?
Why did he never do it with her?
Because he's fucking,
slow.
Yeah, because he's a chump. We're learning every scene more and more. When he gets constantly pushed around by his friends, pushed around by his wife's mom outside the bar. Yep. I mean, what guy isn't telling that lady to kick fucking rocks? Right. And now he didn't even bang his wife, and she's pregnant.
He does seem like he's kind of like bullied and dominated. And
I mean, the reason to have that conversation is purely for us. I mean, it doesn't mean anything for anybody else, really, because, I mean, unless maybe Mike knows that she's pregnant. Maybe Mike's the one that got her pregnant. They never really go into that.
I don't think so, but it is Nicky. He's like, so what do I do about the baby? And Nick's like, just hang loose, man. He doesn't really know what to tell him.
Oh, so he knows about the baby.
Yeah, Nick knows.
Oh, okay.
That's from that conversation. It's clear that they both know that she's pregnant, but
okay.
Stan is talking shit about it also, and Mike's telling him to shut up. But Stan kisses Angela on the mouth as they're getting into this car.
Yeah, well, Stan's a scum.
They drive off in the car. This is a great, very comedic scene. The trunk opens. Steven's clearly drunk as hell and shouldn't be driving, but then Mike is chasing them and stripping off his clothes. He gets naked.
That is a wild man.
Dong check. We get a peek at De Niro's penis.
Yeah.
Walken throws the coat over him.
Yeah.
Kind of buried in the Slavic pube jungle.
Yeah, well.
Italian pube jungle.
Real man.
Italians and Slavs have a lot in common. Dominating mother, elaborate church rituals.
Annoying accents.
Our food whips the shit out of their food, though.
Oh, you think so?
Dude, have you ever eaten, like, Polish food?
Yeah, Italian food.
Like cold potatoes
Italian
and shit.
food is like, what, top 3?
It's up there, man.
Yeah. Italian
food.
Chinese.
Yeah. Polish food is all, like, long sausages and fucking sauerkraut.
Surprised you don't like
bullshit.
it more.
Right up your alley.
No one's putting anything up my alley, all right?
Nobody's choking me with any long sausages.
No, thank you.
So you got this part where
The basketball court
scene.
Nick and Mike on the basketball
After
court.
rewatching this again, I realized how important this scene was going forward to the end of the movie.
Yeah. Well, Nick is like, this is the only place I want,
He's
America.
right, and he just goes into this drunken stupor and is telling Michael, like, do not leave me over there. Mm-hmm. And he says it like over and over again and makes Mike promise him that he's not going to leave him over there.
Yeah.
As they have their backs up against the basketball hoop, Mike is ass naked with the fucking coat over him. And then he's just...
It's got to be fucking 18 degrees outside.
Freezing. Absolutely freezing.
Might explain the dong size.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying that much attention to it.
It's all I can look at.
So yeah,
it's a famous wiener, dude.
That after rewatching it, that part definitely sticks out.
Knowing anything about the movie, I guess, you kind of, it's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It feels that way when it's happening too. It feels like they're setting you up.
Setting you up for something. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I mean, when the movie came out, I mean, there was all this, it was 79, so it was super controversial to talk about the war still, because most of the Vietnam movies came out later. This was one of the first ones.
Sure.
To really touch on the war.
It's 3 years after the end of the war.
Do you know another interesting fact about this movie, about the making of it? This movie pioneered a marketing method called Oscar baiting. Okay. So this movie did not test well with initial audiences, with small audiences.
It's long as hell. Yeah. Parts of it are kind of boring.
It's long as hell, and it's fucking brutal. I mean, however you feel about how messy that Russian roulette scene is in the POW camp, it's famous. It's famously gut-wrenching.
Right.
And it made people uncomfortable, and it didn't test well. But so they held off on releasing it, and they submitted it to the Academy, and they got nominations and waited till it won in order to release it.
Okay, gotcha.
In order to achieve box office success, which is common practice now.
Yeah,
movies that are considered to be liked by the Academy but possibly not the public, they wait. Which is this is
things
one of
that
the
have more critical appeal than mass appeal.
And then people are such fucking sheep that they see, the little gold man at the bottom right hand corner. Now they're willing to spend the $17 or whatever to go
watch
see it.
Yep.
But before that, these movies, they might not win. I mean, I see a movie sometimes that I'm like, oh shit, that won this. Like maybe there is something to it, so I fall.
I find the competition interesting. Them trying to do it in the way that the different promotional campaigns. Like, I don't know if you knew what happened with the Best Picture race this year. This movie called Emilia Perez.
Oh yeah, and then all the politics.
Yeah, so it's a movie directed by a French guy, and it's about a Mexican drug lord who transitions into a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because like we're at kind of what I think we're at the tail end of the first era of wokeness, I would say. Oh, yeah. And so on its face, this movie has this appeal where it's like, oh, it's about brown people and the main character is a transgender. And so the Academy is like, this will be our best picture because it's going to make us look like we're really in touch with the times. And then trans people see it and they're like, this is a fucked up portrayal of us. And Mexican people see it and they're like, this is not what Mexico is like. And there's this big backlash. And then the trans lady that stars in the movie, who's like a kind of unknown actor from Spain, people go back and find her tweets just being like, Muslims smell like dogs and all this shit. And so just this complete backfire on the Academy trying
Muslims
to be...
hate dogs, man.
Good point. Well, maybe they get confused.
They probably got pretty mad about that.
But yeah, this like attempt to do this woke thing.
It'd be like telling you if you smelled like a Polak.
How dare you?
It smells like kielbasa everywhere.
I find Polish women beautiful.
Oh yeah,
green eyes, very pale.
Yeah. So who ended up winning Best Picture?
Best Picture went to Anora, which was a great movie.
I didn't see that.
And Anora is kind of an anti-woke movie. You have the main character is calling people faggot throughout the movie. And
I like how your voice breaks.
All right, it makes me uncomfortable to say a hateful term like that.
That's a great.
People here with gay family members.
Guttural hesitance.
I have a gay brother.
You couldn't even control your voice.
I also don't want us to get taken off of YouTube. So
true.
But so just the way that went was very amusing to me to see them initially make this stab at like. And that was the campaign for Emilia Perez was promoting it like, this is this very woke, it's a musical too. And I saw it. It's a piece of shit. It sucks. And it's very French. Like a French guy is the only person who would be like, all right, we're going to do a musical number where it's like, we're chopping up your penis. We're replacing it with a vagina. And it's so then Anora, which is a movie about a sex worker who gets married to a billionaire's son. Yeah, check that out. That's a great movie.
There's some really funny stories though. Promotional. That's always a fun topic. Like, I remember Independence Day, which we've touched on in the past. They were some of the first people to do teaser trailers.
Okay.
I don't know how old are you?
36.
36. So you might remember. The teaser trailers for Independence Day were fucking insane. They were like shots of like down a Manhattan streetway and just fire
coming at
Yeah,
you
from wall to wall, and
Yep.
that's it, and just ID4.
Yep.
They also did something that nobody had done before, where they knew that the critics were going to shit all over the movie, so they did a Wednesday release before any of the newspapers back then.
Kind of
was
the opposite of
newspapers.
Oscar baiting.
Yeah, exactly. So they tried to get ahead of all the criticism and get their, I mean, a movie like that's pulling in $100 million in the first day or whatever. So they're trying to get, their money before the critics start crapping all over it. So there's all these like really funny.
Yeah, I'm interested in like the business of making movies and how things do at the box office and how they do critically. I'm very invested in James Cameron's thing. People were like, Avatar 2 is going to bomb. Nobody cares about Avatar. It didn't have any cultural impact. And James Cameron was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep.
Third highest grossing
Yeah,
movie of
huge.
all time.
Yeah, that was
now.
great
Huge.
too. That was a great fucking
Avatar.
movie.
I saw Avatar 2 4 times in the theaters. I loved it, man. Made me cry. Gave me goosebumps. But
Fucking
yeah, that stuff. But I am like you, and that if I'm not going to be like, oh, this movie won Best Picture, it's got to be great, because the politics of the shit are so messy and
they
mixed
become
up,
very obvious. Like
Absolutely.
there's certain awards that I take more seriously than others. Like original screenplay, I usually take pretty seriously. Like I think that's one that they can get away with being authentic on, because not enough people are paying attention. And then the actor ones, sometimes I can tell that somebody won but usually if the acting is that good in a film, it's at the very least enjoyable.
Yeah.
But like Cinema Speculation, Quentin Tarantino's book, is just as much about how the movies got made and all the drama behind the scenes of these movies, because he knows all these people that were like involved with Deliverance and The Getaway and all this, and he knows people who were friends with Steve McQueen, so he's got like the inside scoop on all the production drama that happens in the making of movies. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Kind
This
of
was the
stuff,
episode
yeah.
where we had Neil on, where we talked about the making of Alien 3.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
great.
that was cool.
But
We're getting closer to the war. We did the basketball.
they're going hunting.
Yeah,
Or
now
the
they're hunting. Yep.
scene, yeah.
Goes right to that hunting scene.
They're driving up through the mountains. This is like seemingly they haven't slept. I think it's like right after the wedding.
I've been in where they're at, dude.
Yeah,
I've been up all night drinking
Yep.
and then driving into the mountains. Not necessarily to go hunting, but to go do some like whitewater shit.
Yeah.
And that's just, they nail it. They nail like how
That feeling.
primitive and gross everyone gets. And yeah, beer cans falling out when you open the door and shit.
John covers Mike's eyes while he's driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, swerves off, and then you see what is it? It's Axel's outside the car to go take a piss, and then he pulls off.
They
pulls
drive
off,
off
goes all the
on
way
him,
over
yeah.
the bridge, comes back.
Yeah.
Just as he's about to get in the car, he pulls off again.
Yeah.
Like I can totally relate to that with the kids. Like the way I grew up. I mean, the way I grew up was very similar. I went to like a smaller Catholic school, and I had a group of like probably 20 friends, half girls, half guys, and we were all like really, really close. And that is some shit that I even like can remember doing. Because we used to go up and ride around the mountains and smoke blunts. Like that's where we went to get away. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it was at like 8:00 in the morning after we had been up all night drinking at my house in high school.
Yeah.
And like I can specifically remember, I could see my buddy Davey Lewis that I grew up with, like doing that same shit. Like pull over, let me piss real quick, and then just fucking with them for the next 5 minutes out in the middle of nowhere, up in the mountains up there.
And John says he drank 36 beers, which is very relatable to me.
Yeah. 36 sounds about right.
And he also says, you ever piss and take a drink of beer
At the same time.
we used to joke that you could in theory get to a point where you could just be standing in the bathroom pouring
Pouring a
and
beer down,
pissing
at the same time.
infinitely.
Perpetual motion machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ooh. There's a great quote in this scene also where Axel is like, Nick, why do I never see you eating? This is where I'm kind of a Nick, low-key. He goes, I like to starve myself because it keeps the fear up.
Nice. I did not hear that.
I did not hear that either.
That's Nick.
Yeah.
As we've discussed on this show, I don't like to eat a lot until I'm done with everything for the day because I feel like it gives me motivation. I'm like, I'm fucking hungry. I got to get shit done type of thing.
You know who famously, very recent sort of influencer of sorts stands behind that as well? Says he operates best with nicotine, caffeine, and hunger.
Who's that?
Andrew Tate.
Swag.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the fact that Donald Trump comes out in Iowa the other night and says that he's going to host a UFC fight at the White House next year on the 4th of July, which him and Dana White are like extremely close. So,
course, yeah.
And sure enough, next year, 250th birthday of the country, it happens to be on a Saturday, which is when all the UFC pay-per-view fights are Saturday night. And he's telling him he's going to have one at the White House. So all of a sudden now Andrew Tate's like, I want it.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor wants in now. John Jones announces his retirement 2 weeks ago, and now he re-enters the testing pool yesterday. So he's like trying to back in fighting. It's like
on the 250th birthday of the United States, we have a UFC fight at the White House.
Trump wants.
It feels like a deleted scene from Idiocracy to me.
Dude, this is the direction shit's going in. I'm not mad about it.
I'm not either. Trump comes all. I'm a huge UFC guy, and Trump is.
Yeah.
This is going to irritate James because he's like, well, that's not a proper decorum type of thing.
I feel a little. I don't know. I feel like fucking, there's a time and a place.
I agree.
And it's the 250th birthday of the United States. This is where our country is at right now, bro.
The White House, dude. Well, look, MMA itself is a really cool sport. It's an amazing fucking martial art, dude.
Yeah.
But the UFC is a celebration of a lot of fucking, I don't know. I'm gonna keep my opinion because I don't want to fucking go down a rabbit hole, but
sure, another subject that's endlessly discussed on podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
None of this would ever happen if it was a typical politician who was in office right now. You know what I mean? Instead, we have a business guy, and the whole thing dates back to Dana White trying to get a UFC event sanctioned in New York City years ago, and Trump was the only one who would sign off on it and let him do it. Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking back.
Trump was a big boxing promoter too.
Years ago. We're talking 20 years ago or so. You know what I mean? So this has been, I'm not surprised it's got to this point, but like I said, if there was a typical politician in office, there's no chance.
And this is the thing, is I disagree with a lot of Donald Trump's policies and stuff, but I'm like, we've had this thing for so long where it's like, well, the president is like a stand-up guy, and he's a very reasonable man, and he's a balanced individual and stuff like that. And that's not in line with what our country actually operates like. We're a bunch of Mountain Dew chugging yahoos.
Yeah.
So having somebody that more accurately represents
nature.
So now we have a president that's got 34 felony convictions and 3 baby mamas. And he's in office hanging out. So it's like
it just shatters the curtain in a way that I'm not comfortable with at first.
Yeah.
I like
you're into the myth of respectability.
Yeah, I mean, myths are only myths to the degree that they're fucking upheld. If it's the Wizard of Oz is the motherfucking Wizard of Oz to everybody except for the people that look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
So I would compare him to George W. Bush,
who was
a much
Budweiser fucking ad on the flagpole out front of the goddamn White House.
It's just there's a certain sense of professionalism. That when I grew up looking at the president, there was that professionalism that was very obvious in Trump's first term that shit didn't matter to him.
Yeah, and I mean, but
I'm kind of an accelerationist where I'm like, let's have things be
as fucked up.
Actually, how they are.
It's going in this direction anyway.
But this bothers my father, who's kind of just like a liberal to no end. He's like, that's not how the president's supposed to behave, and I'm like, who says?
Yeah.
Right.
I like to see. I'm like the Joker, man. I just want to watch the world burn. And I also like George W. Bush started this war on false pretenses that killed 1 million people, and people are like, "Oh, I miss him. He was so respectable and shit." And it's like, okay, behind the scenes, he was doing heinous, evil things. Trump is like, he's openly kind of an idiot and does some wild shit, but at least he hasn't done anything to that level. So
behind the scenes is one thing. Trump is doing it in front, up front and personal, and just doesn't care who's.
And we'll see how this giant tax cut might be bad, but I don't know, man. We're not the politics experts.
Yeah,
no.
There's some more sick bars in this scene on the mountain where Mike refuses to give Stanley his extra pair of boots.
Yeah. So that's. Well, the guy's always going out there unprepared. I feel for Mike in this scene.
This would be when I show up to spearfishing and I don't have my spear gun.
And I tell people like that all the time, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that situation. in a fishing situation where it's like, dude, you didn't bring the shit, you don't get the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to go without? Or am I supposed to like be thinking about you?
But Mike does have extra boots.
Yeah,
and he
but
doesn't want to give them to him. He's mad
on
at Stanley.
principle.
Him and Stanley are arguing earlier in the night because Stanley is like mocking Steven for marrying this chick that's pregnant by somebody else. You know?
And I think what we're really doing is we're just telling us again, it's more about learning about Michael. That's what this scene is.
And one of the things we get is Stanley going, you know how many times I fixed him up with girls and nothing ever happens. You know what your problem is, Mike? No one knows what you're talking about. Which, again, I relate to that. Mike is like Sigma male, you know? Yeah. He's not focused on the same stuff as these other guys.
No, he's not. Not at all.
Yeah, he's definitely a fucking...
And this goes back to what I said about how
he's a lone wolf, man.
He's telling Nikki that he just doesn't like hunting with these other guys, but then you can kind of see and understand why when they get up there. They're not prepared. And
Stanley's
that's just
waving a gun around.
That's right. Yeah. There's just no etiquette to what he's doing. It's just like fucking free for all, but we're up here with fucking weapons. Like, you know, it's just, I can kind of tell why Mike is like that, you know. I can relate to that.
And Stan accuses him of being a fag. Says you could have had that redheaded waitress last week. And Mike's just like, whatever, bro.
I don't even notice, dude. I'm such a bigot. I don't even hear that word, man.
But then Nikki asks Mike, like, what's the matter with you? And gives Stan the boots. And then we have this scene of Mike stalking and killing this deer. And there's this beautiful choral score.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the music throughout the whole movie. The string kind of guitar theme. All the music is fantastic. I'll say that.
Yeah, that was kind of the Deer Hunter music, that guitar theme that...
For sure, that's the.
I think that was the DVD menu loop. Was that?
I bet
for sure.
But they're
all right. Cut to
they just
being
put the
fucking
deer on the hood of the car.
Where it cuts to. Yep. Cuts right from that scene.
Yeah.
Right. They go back to the bar. They drive back to the bar with the deer just on the hood of the car, which is crazy.
That's right.
And they go in there and they spray brewskis everywhere. John gets on the piano.
John gets on the piano, and they're playing the beautiful song. And this scene to me is what like brings it. Oh, so the whole time these guys are steel workers, they're drunks, they're big fucking immature children.
Yep.
They fight, they run through the streets naked, and then all of a sudden they're just soft as fuck. They just are all sort of quiet and teary listening to this beautiful song. They become like real, like their characters are built.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's this really beautiful way of like arcing the story. That's one of my favorite things about.
I was about to say it bridges the story from the beginning to the next part of it very, very well.
And then it just cuts
abruptly
to brutality.
Yeah.
There's no like loading up on the airplane, saying goodbye to your best girl. It's just you're in the middle of it. You don't even know who the fuck is who, what's going on.
Right.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, Mike is just he's on the ground. I don't know whether he's knocked out. He's laying there and there's just dead bodies there's dead bodies all around him.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the
we see this village being blown up.
Yep, throwing the grenade inside the
see this North Vietnamese guy blowing up a bunch of women and children inside this kind of like hiding place. You ever see a diagram of the Vietnamese the Viet Cong tunnels? Dude.
Is it in the Vietnam War, Ken Burns? Probably.
It might be. I'll send you this thing.
I think it's 18 hours. They
had these crazy complex tunnels that they would do.
So I'm a PBS donator now. I'm official PBS passport holder. So their children's stuff is far superior to anything Disney, Netflix, any of these fucking regular streaming stations have. PBS Kids has Daniel Tiger, which is Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember Mr. Rogers?
I do. I remember Mr. Rogers very well.
I have a tattoo of Mr. Rogers.
You do?
And so the tiger on his hand was Daniel.
Okay.
And there's a kid's show, a modern kid's show called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, and it's like Mr. Rogers for the newer generation.
Yeah, you know what? I know what you're talking about now that you bring it up, yeah.
And so we got PBS Kids, and then so we decided to do PBS too. And it's $10 a month, bro, and it's like massive scope of stuff.
Right.
And do you know who Ken Burns is, the documentarian?
I'm not too familiar with it, no.
So he's been doing PBS documentaries for decades. It takes him like 10 years to make a film or whatever, but he did a Hemingway. It's 3 episodes. It's 3 2-hour episodes. And I've started watching that.
Very good.
Yeah.
But these tunnels that they would have were crazy. They would have punji stick traps where it's, just like they put bamboo over some shit and put some leaves on it, and then you would fall through it, and it would just be sharpened bamboo things that would fucking stab you and kill you.
Yeah.
And then there were tunnels connecting them?
Yeah, well, there's tunnels for they would have that shit, but then they would also have tunnels that they would go and hide in.
Yeah.
They would put water down some of the tunnels, so if they were getting gassed, you could swim through the water and come out on the other side.
So I was trying to remember, and I didn't really look it up. In that war, the North and South were fighting, and we were on the side of the South?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
So the North Vietnam is the Viet Cong.
North Vietnamese were communist, yes.
Communist.
The Viet Cong was not the official North Vietnamese army. It was a guerrilla insurgency of villagers.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the Vietnam War, so.
Watch fucking Ken Burns documentary, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Check it out. But yeah, so Mike wakes up in this group of other guys that apparently just got blown up, and he sees this soldier, the same guy that just dropped a grenade, shooting a mother and child, and he runs over and gets a flamethrower and just barbecues this guy.
Barbecues, dude.
Yeah, day late, fucking dollar short, pal.
For sure.
Yeah.
They're already dead, but
And she's carrying like this limp baby, dude.
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a super big bummer. And then they don't even show. Do they show?
They don't show them getting captured.
No.
They just show Nikki lands in a helicopter. Mike doesn't even seem to recognize him. And then they see more bombs being dropped. And then they see this kind of like advancing line of the North Vietnamese. And then boom, it cuts. And they're in this Vietnamese POW jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't like that.
I mean,
You're like, dude, what the hell? Explain more, man.
my thing, and I haven't done any research
Hold
on
my
this,
hand.
but
That's what
they're just in there playing Russian roulette all day. Roulette. Where are they getting food? How are these people surviving? Like, what is going on?
Man, there's rice patties everywhere, dude. What are you talking about?
You can't just eat the rice out the ground.
You can eat rats. You can eat fish.
I guess, but
You can eat. I mean, they don't. Where does fucking the John Connor eat, bro? Like, no one eats in movies.
one thing that you said that is making me more sympathetic is that it's not a war movie per se.
Right.
It's about these guys, and so the fact that there's only like 2 minutes of actual fighting.
That's the whole thing that I think.
Get it.
So I didn't really realize this till I was watching it, and I was just like, God damn, I forgot that there's like no war in this movie.
Yeah.
And then so I got on some message boards a little bit. I'm a total IMDb whore, by the way. I get in the message boards on there, and they're pretty cool. And there was a paragraph about that, and I was just like, man, I really actually kind of agree with the fact that this is a story about, this is a coming of age story. It's a trauma story, and it just uses the Vietnam War as a fucking trauma point.
Right. Yes,
And,
exactly.
And not just war. It takes it. This is what I love about it.
A deep level, dude.
It takes it to a whole nother level, bro.
This is why I chose it.
Dude, and think about, okay, so the way that all this story is told is all messy as fuck. It's all just tension. There's no fucking subtitles.
No.
Did you notice that there's no subtitles in any of the Vietnamese scenes? He's just trying to upset you. He's basically like poking you in the fucking chest for 30 minutes.
Yep.
And just like, here's something
Keeping
upsetting.
you
Here's
hanging
something
on.
more upsetting. Here's something more upsetting. And then they get, the Russian roulette scene happens. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, get your fucking shit together. But it's tense. A lot of screaming.
It is.
And it starts off with these two captured South Vietnamese playing. One of them dies. Then they pull them up, and Stevie and Mike have to play.
And Stevie misses ish.
Which, is that allowed?
It's weird. It's a weird situation how he leans his head over it, but he still he grazes. It grazes him good, but I think
the expectation is he's wounded, and we're gonna put him in the cage till he dies.
But Mikey is like, "You did it, Stevie. Great job."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they drag him. Well, he's just trying to be
you
positive.
You could tell at this point though, Stevie is already fucked up. The war has already broke him.
Prior to that, he's going,
It
"We don't
doesn't
belong
re-
here."
Right. He's every time he hears the gunshot before they bring him up there, he's grabbing the thing and freaking out and he's yelling. Like, you could tell that the PTSD is already like full force with this dude.
It's a good performance. He does seem genuinely unhinged.
Right.
John Savage is that actor.
You know who I think about when I'm watching this scene is our old pal John McCain.
Yeah.
Wow. He was a fucking
interesting.
Well, he was a
prisoner of war.
Yeah, in Vietnam.
In Vietnam, absolutely.
Yeah. He
You're
tried
right.
to save us from the tyrant, man. No,
and in my
let's get fucking full of.
And I mean, from what I saw growing up, I mean, John McCain was one of the guys who was trying to bridge that gap between
Yeah,
two parties,
yeah.
two
Really
political
wasn't.
parties, in
Yeah, poor
So
guy
it
got
was-
set up against. I mean,
Yeah.
the Obama campaign was one of the most powerful fucking,
And then Trump was like, I like pilots who don't get shot down.
Yeah. I forgot about
Brutal.
that. That was pretty bad. But anyway, I don't know. I wonder how he felt about this stuff because, like, the whole bamboo cage is 90% submerged in water.
Well, right.
I mean,
Just
sucks.
enough for your head
It would
to
be
stick
very
up.
uncomfortable.
and that
I
shit
think-
you hear about and like in real Vietnam stuff that if
Right.
that was real, that kind of thing, and that's fucking insane, man.
I was watching that scene, and seeing that scene was making me like really feel like, wow, man, like I can really understand why these guys came back to the States and they were fucked up, like
For sure.
And
Well, even dude, the way that this scene is composed, and the way that it's lit with like dusk lighting almost, like it's late day. And
Yeah.
that to me
It's
is
like evening time.
It's
Yeah.
like gray lighting.
Right.
And you know what, to your point, Tony, like what are these guys fucking doing all day? Are they just sitting there probably chain smoking cigarettes, right? Fucking drinking beer and watching people shoot themselves.
Right.
It feels like this is what their lives are.
Yeah.
It feels fucking psychotic, man.
Yep.
And so Stevie, we lose Stevie, or at least we think we're gonna
He
lose
gets put
him.
in this.
He gets
I mean,
put down the
their
end of the
cage
dock,
is
yeah.
already like half underwater, and then Stevie's is like is up to his neck, basically.
Well, their cage is underneath the game.
Yes.
So these guys are underneath there. So they're watching it happen
And
to the
when
creeks. Stevie goes, they have him down at like the end of the dock in his
Yeah.
own area.
Yeah. And when
You
people
know?
die in the game, they fall back through the trap door into the area where these guys are waiting.
Right.
yes.
And it's just dead bodies falling from the sky.
Something happens that doesn't make any sense to me, which is that Stevie or Mikey and Nick are downstairs in this, down under the thing, and this
Right.
guy just like shoots at them with an AK-47. He's just like, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. It's just kind of being.
He's just like
It's pretty
ADHD
wild.
kicked it or something. He just had to go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
he's
an
had a
intrusive
couple
thought.
extra-
Right. Yeah. Like,
He had
hang
a
on one
couple
second.
extra
Like,
bullets
just
in the-
like let them know I haven't forgot about you down there. Whatever
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah, man, I got too many
But-
bullets in my AK, dude.
You asked me at the beginning of this, like what character I thought I would have been, and I said Mike, and one of the reasons is the idea that he comes up with here.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah.
Starts plotting.
He knows him and Nikki are going to be up there against each other, and in his mind, he's like, okay, they're going to give me this revolver, so let me just like scream to these guys, I want 3 bullets in it. I don't just want one.
Yeah.
And he's screaming. And he's asking the guy for 3 bullets in the revolver. And the crazy part is like that if he doesn't just jump right into what he's got planned, you know what I mean? They each take a turn.
Yeah.
But I feel like each one of them taking a turn, man, it just it sticks you in the middle of that insanity in that game even more.
It's very tense.
It's
and he has to talk Nikki into it, and
Yeah.
they're both getting slapped like a motherfucker.
and then it almost gives you this like confidence to like do it again, like this fucking like just we
Yeah.
can relate to it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's wild, dude. It's
I'm either
fucking
gonna
wild.
die or I'm gonna like stay
Right.
in this horrible situation.
Right,
So.
right.
But De Niro does this. He like screams and pulls the trigger, and
Yep.
it doesn't go off.
Ugh.
And there's something that was kind of funny about this scene also is they're slapping him a bunch, and some of the slaps he's just kind of like ignoring. He's just eating it.
Yeah.
And then one of them he slaps him, and he's like, "You motherfucker!" Like,
Yeah.
he gets
Yep.
really mad
But
about one
there's
of the
all
slaps.
these notes in about this that there's all these times in the movie where there was slaps happening that weren't scripted. There was like
The
cuss
Thai
words
guy is
flying.
just like slapping him off the drum.
Yeah, Cimino went to the Thai guy and said, beat the fuck out of that American capitalist piece of shit. And he went to De Niro and he said, they're going to take it easy on you. Don't worry.
And then they
and then and I'm going to jump ahead real quick just because we're on this part of the topic. There's a scene in the end where Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken are talking right before Christopher Walken goes back in that final game of roulette.
Yeah.
And Christopher Walken spits in his face.
He does.
Wasn't in the fucking script. De Niro had no idea it was coming. Christopher Walken was an up-and-coming actor at this point.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro was the most famous motherfucker on earth. And the balls it took. The fucking balls it took for Christopher Walken. He gets a good one, too. He gets his tongue in there and everything. Fucking slings a fat loogie. in
That's
his face.
awesome.
Yeah. It was one of these, like, classical instances, like, very, very Kubrick style of, like, you actors are not even people to me. you are here to tell my story, and I'm going to fucking, psychologically abuse you as much as possible. And it comes across, though, in the finished product of me that, like, if an actor's down for the art, then they respond well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They don't,
You're not just going to be like, Chris, did you just spit on me?
Right. You just roll with it. You roll with it knowing that this is making the film. Like, this is it.
Maybe even Cimino knows that he's got a guy that is so immersed in the character that he's gonna respond like Mike. He's not gonna respond like De Niro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is really interesting. But
so I do like this scene a lot. And he's starts laughing after the guy slaps him. He goes, "You motherfucker, you're gonna die." And then he's pointing the gun at his head. And he starts laughing. He's like, "Ha ha 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 ha!" And they cut to like all the Vietnamese just like giggling. Yeah. And then he goes fucking John Wick. He's like, "Pow pow pow!" Starts
blasting. Bro.
Shoots 3 of them. Nick grabs the AK. Starts blugga 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 blugga.
I also find it interesting that Nicky, when he pulls the trigger, he's so very calm when he does it. But De Niro's like screaming when he does his scene. You know what I mean? It shows just like two completely different sides of it. I feel like
Nicky's cracked already.
He might,
somewhat,
something.
Like if you're gonna crack, it's happened. And then
Nick shoots. They basically wipe them all out with AKs, and Mike has to pull Nick away from beating this guy to death with the AK.
Yep.
And then they go get Stevie, and I didn't see that. I thought Stevie was toast.
Well, Mike tells Nick earlier, he's like, we have to give up on him.
Fucking forget about him.
He tells him to forget about Stevie.
Which I think is more just for his state of mind.
Yep.
He's like, look, he stopped thinking about him, dude. You know, he's dead. But he's not, maybe he doesn't really feel that way. He's just saying that's how you have to act.
For sure.
Trying to get him to focus on what we're about to try and do to get us out of here and not worry about what's going on with him at the moment.
Which is very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like 5 guys with AK-47s and he just lick 3 of them and grab the gun away from another one. But Steve's mind is gone. They're like floating down the river on this tree branch, and Steve will not shut up. He keeps going, we don't belong here. One thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, I want to go home, Mike. Yeah, that's what he keeps on saying.
The comparison of these two climates of like cold Pennsylvania
I didn't even
with
pick up on
Vietnam
that.
just being this fucking like
hot jungle mess, dude.
Bro, I fucking hate bugs. And you have to imagine
Vietnam's very close to the equator.
You have to imagine that they're just getting devoured by bugs when they're in this fucking watery thing. And I had a moment watching it where I was like, there's stuff in my life I complain about, but like at least I'm not in a fucking bamboo prison, half underwater, getting bit by rats and shit.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, dude. Just
that whole scene, man, is just so fucking upsetting. And then, I still feel the rubber band. Because I still feel like, are these motherfuckers going to make it? Is one of them going to make it? Or none of them going to make it? They get found by a helicopter.
Yep.
They fucking get Nick in the helicopter.
Correct. Nick ends up in the helicopter, even though he's not. In my opinion, it was like, how did Nick end up there? You would think that Steve was the one that was going to have to be put in there. But I mean, that's just before.
Nick is injured though. He's been shot in the leg.
Yeah. That's right. I forget that Nick got
Steve
shot.
Also he took a grazed bullet right off his whole face when he missed
fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine. No big deal. I mean, at that point in time, he probably
does my head hurt? I don't even know.
So
I hate Steve.
So Nick gets in the chopper, and then
This is another thing. The chopper takes off without the other two, and I think it's supposed to be because they're taking fire, but you don't really see them getting shot at.
Or there's no room. So there's another chopper before this chopper where you see guys hanging on the landing gear.
Yeah.
And that's just like a thing that's happening. They're trying to get so many people out that they're packing up the cab and people are grabbing onto the legs. This
is why I trained Dead Hang.
Yeah.
So
there's 2 more
just in
souls,
case.
that they just can't fit inside. So they're hanging on the edge there. But of course, bitch ass Spectrum Stevie.
Yeah. And then when do you realize, man, he drops from the chopper.
Drops from the thing.
Hurts his legs bad.
Breaks his legs when he lands because the shallow river.
Mike, I hit some rocks, Mike.
Right. Mike has to drag him out of there.
Shut up. And puts him on his back and
carries his ass to safety. Throws him on the hood of a car.
Like the deer.
Yeah.
Just like the deer. He goes right in the windshield with that South Vietnamese little vehicle they're going through.
The deer hunter.
Wherever they're going through in Saigon and maybe entrance to Saigon or whatever. And then that's it. You don't see Stevie for a while.
And we lose Mike for a minute also. We cut to Nick being in the
hospital. Yep.
Looking at a picture of Linda.
Yeah. Trying to make a phone call. Can't do it. You see him starting to struggle.
Can't remember his parents' birthdays.
Right, he's sitting up against the wall, and the
army nurse
thing,
guy.
and the army guy walks up to him, and he asks him for his name and his parents' last names, and he's like, "Gone, dude."
He's breaking, and it's funny because he's like standing there. He's got all his legs, he's got all his arms, he's still got his pretty face.
Yep.
And there's this guy sitting in a bed that's like missing an arm. He's all bandaged up, and he's looking over, and he's just chilling.
Why does he have that guy's dog tags?
No, it's not the dog tag. It's the bracelet. He doesn't ask him about the dog tags.
What does he
He
have
looks
that
at his
guy's
bracelet.
bracelet?
He's like, "What? Let me look at your bracelet." He goes, "It's not mine. It's his." And it's the guy, and they show the guy.
The guy doesn't
He's
have
missing
his
every
arm.
one of his limbs. Like,
Was that a fucked up joke?
I know. I'm not sure
don't
what the fuck
understand.
that was about. I really still don't. At this point, still have no idea.
That's
Because you would think that they would have grabbed his dog tag and looked at it, but they asked him, what's your bracelet?
probably has the bracelet has medical information on it or whatever. But that's there's a couple things where I'm just like, I don't understand why this is happening here.
Well, so my best guess is that Nick at that point realizes that he's going to be leaving that hospital. And I think that if by saying it's this guy's bracelet, he's still kind of,
He can stick around longer.
well, he can kind of move around freely now because they're not as worried about him. So now he can kind of just go and do what he does, because then that scene cuts to the next scene where he's walking in Saigon in nighttime.
Yeah.
And it's crowded streets, and he ends up
Very crowded streets.
can you imagine that the fucking scene at that and downtown that night like
That's
that?
crazy.
All the fucking car horns and people screaming and
Vietnam is still very much like that.
Crazy,
There's
dude.
motorbikes zipping around all the time.
This is one of the scenes where I see the sound engineering shining through when
Yes,
they walk into a bar.
absolutely.
And the chatter is overwhelming.
Yep.
And then there's like women dancing and
Oh, man.
the music, and everything is sort of blurred together but still independently audible.
And they're
It's
playing Midnight
fucking
Train to
crazy.
Georgia.
Yeah, yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
and then he ends up going upstairs and he's in there with that Vietnamese lady. She's got the fucking kid in the room and
Yeah.
She's like, I'll make you crazy,
Yeah.
not like the girls back home.
fuck you Americans, you fucking as he's walking out. Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah,
and
she,
then
she tries to have sex with him while her little child is
that's
right
what I'm
there
saying.
crying. He's about to do it too.
Right.
He almost does it.
It's ridiculous. And then so this next scene.
I have sex with children near all the time. What do you do?
In the room?
Well, not awake, but
Hold up.
there aren't rooms in my house. There's no room in my house in the middle of the night where there isn't a sleeping child.
Respect, dude. I would be.
We're not talking about the same
Confused.
situation, though.
No.
But I
This
do.
is like a toddler.
So I mean, I was my ex-wife had 2 young kids. Like I totally know what he's talking about. So like I get it.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
You know.
Have sex in the kitchen?
I don't know. Just put him in the bathtub.
Jeez, dude.
Put him in the car.
That's not the answer. No.
Anyway,
But
Super glad Butthead
the
doesn't
next
listen.
that next scene there, they show Nicky like just walking through the city there, and he hears a gunshot,
Yeah.
and he starts moving towards that gunshot.
I love your point about this.
And
Yeah.
this is he I almost feel like the sound you were talking about, how like maybe one of the scenes was like an 8-second gunshot that goes off the hammer. It goes right back then, and it sounds identical to going back when they were prisoners of
Playing
war
the
there.
prisoners, yeah.
And he is now gravitating towards this gunshot, and he hears it again, and it brings him even farther deeper into this fucking hellhole wherever he goes in the basements of these sweatshops or however. But he meets that guy in the car. He ends up coming across that guy in the car.
so isn't this trauma commentary? Isn't this like we seek out the trauma that we felt? Right. This whole thing is like,
absolutely.
yeah.
He hears it brings him back, and there's something. There's something about that is just he just gravitates towards it. He gravitates towards the chaos and that trauma that he heard and he's used to.
Yeah. He found like, there's a spike in your whatever dopamine levels at a certain point in your life that you never achieve again, and you seek that.
Right. For
You
sure.
know? Because when you are faced with that much trauma, your body releases all sorts of hormones and all sorts of crazy fucking stuff into your
Right.
bloodstream, and it's almost like seeking a high.
I was about to say it's like another
Yeah.
high. It's a high. It's the only high that he knows
And
at this point.
Now he's in there, and then that the guy with the nice cars, like, what, you want to check this out?
Yeah.
And then
French guy.
Is Mike there?
So
Yes.
what he the French guy, he offers him a drink, and then I don't know if you noticed, but he's got a bunch of dead bodies in the back seat of that. He's got a bunch of dead bodies in the back seat of that convertible, and he's sitting in it.
No shit.
You don't see that part? Yeah. So
I saw that they're getting dumped outside.
It briefly
the bar,
goes to it. So the dead bodies end up in the from there end up in the back of this guy's car.
You gotta wonder what happens to the bodies.
And then Nikki sees that, and then you know what? The guy seems like, okay, this guy's interested here, you know, and
I'm always
then,
looking for bodies.
Right. And
Alive
then
ones.
you know, he brings Nikki in, and he gets front and center at that table, and then it kind of cuts to Mike off the side, and Mike is fucking there betting on the shit.
Yeah.
And that's the first time that you see Mikey and Nick reconnected. And I mean, who knows how long they had been apart at this point, but
that's the thing about this movie. They don't really fucking
Right.
deal in time frame and stuff like that. It's all like, you find out
Keeps
at
you
one
guessing.
point, because he goes to visit Steve's wife or whatever, and the baby is 2 or 3 years old or however
At that
old.
point.
And then you get an idea of time passing there.
right.
But so they meet there, and what happens in that
So
scene?
Nikki is there, watches them play one round, and then once the first gunshot goes off, Nikki like fucking loses his shit again, and he grabs the revolver and then just fucking points it at his head and
That's
pulls
right.
it. And
He points
nothing,
it at the other guy first.
Yeah.
Correct. Points at the other guy first, then points it at his head. It doesn't go off. The whole place fucking erupts, and then it cuts to Mike, Nikki, and he's screaming, and then Nikki comes fucking running out. Makes it out of the basement or wherever the hell they are, and then that guy in the
Hops
fucking
in the car with the French guy.
That guy kind of tracks him down, and he ends up in the fucking car and drives off, and that's it.
So
Mike is chasing the car down, trying to get Nikki, and Nikki's in the car with the French guy, and they go off.
reflects kind of poorly on Mike's character that he's just there chilling, watching this Russian roulette game go on.
It goes back to that fucking insanity and that trauma. He's right back in it. He's just now betting on it at this point because he's,
Yeah.
and almost it's a fucked up situation.
Which this was not a thing that happened in Vietnam, neither to prisoners of war nor in society.
Russian roulette?
Just doing it, yeah.
Well, I mean, that you know of.
I looked it up. Historians saying that there's no evidence of it. And Michael Cimino intended it to be like a metaphor for what America was doing with its young people, sending them to war in a foreign place. It's just like
Playing Russian roulette with our youth.
But you know what? Wow,
So did
I never
Cimino
even thought
write
about
this?
it like that.
No, it's from a maybe. I don't know. Hold on. But what I'll say is it's just this is one thing that takes me out of the movie is it's just like makes it seem like everybody's constantly playing Russian roulette all the time, and it's just like this huge underground fun betting thing. And the fact that also I'm skipping ahead, but that Nikki becomes like famous for Russian roulette. It's like there's no skill involved with it.
No.
Is it just the fact that he's an American and he's willing to play? But
the only skill,
Well, he just keeps winning.
right? He keeps winning, and the more heroin that he does, the less that he cares. So the less that he cares, the more confident maybe he gets, and he just keeps fucking winning.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you see happen. It's just, but for me, when the first time I watched this, I'd never seen anybody play Russian roulette.
Yeah.
It was like, to me, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I couldn't. This is at this point in the movie, I was on the side, like the end of the couch, just like watching it, and I couldn't take my eyes off it.
I think if your goal is to tell a story that, again, I mean, I'll probably beat this fucking horse to death, that upsets the viewer. If you're trying to make someone uncomfortable and tense, that Russian roulette is the perfect vehicle for
Absolutely.
that. And that in the setting of like, and I think that's why they don't fucking use subtitles. So you're just like, what are these guys talking about?
Yep.
So
Keeps
the
you
guy
guessing.
in the final scene that doesn't have the one eye, he's got the clouded fucking eye patch. The whole thing is just like, it's just all, it's style over substance. So, you know what I mean? Which I enjoy. I think it's
Sure.
It certainly achieves its goal with me. And my wife was the same. She was like, I've never seen a movie. And my wife loves like horror movies and shit. She was like, I've never seen a movie.
Like a different
that upset
style
me
of
so
horror.
much.
It's like yeah.
It's just super upsetting.
It is. So at this point now, after Mike is chasing Nikki and this guy in the car, it shoots right back to Mike coming home.
Michael goes home, yeah.
You know?
Mike gets home and he doesn't.
I'm happy again. Things make sense again.
And this, again, for me, is exactly why I feel like I am that character.
Yeah.
Because he does not want that big coming home party. He knows it's happening, but he purposely avoids it. He wants that, like, that indiscreet entrance that he can control.
So what sounds to me like Tony was taken on a roller coaster by the deer hunter. And which you know,
I saw this movie when I was much younger, and I remember liking it more than I think I did this time.
Feels like you were taken on a roller coaster, and you're not acknowledging how you were.
I lost my phone.
How you're confused, your confusion, and and the disorderliness is an aspect.
I'm good at suspending my disbelief typically, but like to me, it was preposterous that this Russian roulette shit is just this like huge thing where it's $1,000 to get in, and then you watch people playing this game that it's essentially flipping a coin. Like there's no element of skill involved with it.
No, but it's
that
the
annoys
highest,
me.
It's the highest stakes possible.
It's just.
Yeah,
It's a literal today's in today's age. It's a slot machine that somebody's in a casino that they didn't have back then. Maybe
let's play, and then we'll see how you feel about it. Let's just do one round, and then maybe you'll understand.
2 rounds and then 3 rounds. Just gradually escalate it up.
I'll go back home. You guys keep the pod going.
Also, I'm confused about the rules because in the last round they're putting another bullet in the chamber every time they do the thing.
Yeah,
and they play at the end with Nikki.
So the percentage is getting...
But they're not doing that earlier in the movie. They're just passing it back and forth between the two people.
Yeah.
So why are the rules changing? It's just irritating. I'm not going to get... Me complaining about it not being believable is
which part are you talking about?
I'm interested.
Where the rules change? No.
So at the end when Mike and Nick are playing... The guy handling the revolver puts another round in each time that he passes it
each
between
time that
them.
somebody shoots, nothing happens. Somebody shoots, nothing happens. Now they rebet, and the money still stays in the pot, but now they're rebetting.
But he's adding another.
Adding another bullet because now there's more money.
They're not doing that earlier in the movie though. When they show them playing with
when they're prisoners of war.
No, when they show them playing in the previous thing that Nick's just watching, this scene that just happened, they're not adding a bullet.
I feel like that scene right there is only one shot for each
think
guy.
they make
It doesn't
to the
really go
second
that
round.
deep into it before Nikki goes crazy and grabs the gun out of the guy's hand when he's not actually in the game.
I feel like if we need to come out of this conversation understanding Tony's full of shit.
This movie's full of shit. This shit didn't happen.
What?
I feel like you can make a movie about Vietnam and how horrifying and traumatic it is without just making up this like underground black market of Russian roulette shit.
But he goes
didn't
back.
hit for me.
It goes back to James's point, saying that this isn't about Vietnam as much as it's about trauma. It's about gambling, drug addiction, trauma, this love triangle. I mean, dude, this movie
love triangle is great. All I want is love triangles.
This movie has a little bit. This movie has a little bit of everything that can fuck your life up.
Yeah, man.
And that is exactly why when you asked me to come on here and pick a movie, like, dude, this was glaring in my mind the first time you were like, you can come on the podcast.
I'm in the minority for quibbling with it. People love this movie. It's it's a classic of 1970s like auteur cinema. This was an era where the studios were giving directors a big budget to make something that was like their vision.
And there's but there are a lot of people that don't like this movie. I didn't know that until recently when I was reading about it. But
I compare it. I'm comparing it to like Apocalypse Now and Platoon and these other Vietnam movies that are much more about the war. And so, like I said, your take on it makes me more favorable toward it if I look at it as Vietnam being less
sort
of a focus.
In
any case,
so we're
they're
home.
back home.
Everything makes sense again. $2 Tony can start paying attention once
I can
again.
focus on the love, the relationships, which is what I like.
He can start comparing them to his own personal life, which is
hell
at best,
horrible
at best. Yes.
Bad.
Yeah. Well, you reap what you sow, I guess.
This is a mic, though, dude. I'm too weird, and nobody knows what I'm
People
talking
don't
about.
know what you're saying, man.
Well, Mike
Nobody ever knows what the fuck I'm talking about.
Mike,
I'm such a gentleman, too.
Mike comes home, and Meryl Streep, Linda in the movie, she obviously is like, well, where's Nikki?
Yeah.
He
skips his welcome home party.
Which I'll say, too, growing up and Meryl Streep being like super famous or whatever, I was kind of always like, I don't see the big deal until I saw Deer Hunter. I was
She's
like,
great
oh
in
my
this,
God.
yeah.
Well,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
very, very beautiful.
Oh,
too.
dude.
Sure.
I said it. I
She's
said it
29
to
in this
Troy
movie.
while we were watching twice, and I was like, dude, Meryl Streep is gorgeous in this movie. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, my first Meryl Streep interaction was like 101 Dalmatians or something when I was a kid. You know, she's already older at that point.
That's Glenn Close, brother.
Close, yeah.
And then I watched this again the other night, and I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Meryl Streep. That's where it's at. Like,
You know who's really banging? I was just saying yesterday how our podcast just evolved and I was talking about what chicks are hot. Helen Mirren back in the day was
Whoa.
a smoke show,
Yeah,
dude.
very, very incredibly hot. Yeah, and
Large.
she aged very well.
Yeah, Mike goes to a motel instead of going
to
his
the party. They got this big party planned out, all small town America, welcoming its hero back. He stays across the street, peers through the blinds like a crackhead.
Yep.
Watching the party go down. Waits.
Well, no,
for
he
them-
hides behind like a post and looks out at the
like
party.
like Bugs
Well,
Bunny.
he goes. He doesn't get dropped off. The taxi guy is supposed to drop him off there, and he makes
Doesn't
the taxi
keep
guy
going.
Goes to a
go.
motel.
So he
Yes.
actually spends the night in a hotel.
And looks at a picture of Linda.
Correct.
And
the
hacks
same,
off.
and it almost looks like it's
It's very similar to the one that Nick has.
dude. It's the same fucking wallet. It's the same thing. It flips open the same way. The picture slides out. That part where Nikki's sitting on the ledge in the hospital. He opens the wallet. It's the same picture. It's the same fucking
Maybe
wallet.
they were just reusing film.
It's possible.
Or they're just very similar
'cause
guys.
In my mind, I'm thinking, does he have Nikki's wallet?
There's no way he would. They don't see each other after that point.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
right.
they do.
No, they don't. Nick and Mike do not encounter each other in between them splitting up in the jungle and him being back
You're
there.
right. You're right.
He
There's no
hasn't-
way
he
he
hasn't
could.
seen
What are you
Nick.
talking about? We just talked about it. He sees him at the
Oh, so you
fucking
think he
Russian
stole
Roulette
Nick's
scene.
wallet in the Russian
There's
roulette
not
scene?
enough.
Sure,
I don't
man.
think they actually don't. They don't
Fuck
even. They
yeah,
don't have
man.
any interaction. All it is Mike yelling at Nikki. They never actually get to the point
Yeah.
where they talk to each other or even make any chance at having
It
some type of
seems
physical handoff of a wallet.
Too like close to not have a reason though behind it.
I just think that's
It's-
her picture that she gives to all
right.
the boys.
Yeah, and,
So-
and they're similar guys, but it's supposed
Yeah.
to make you like be like, man, you know, this
Sure.
she holds the same place in both of their hearts.
So yeah, he stays at that hotel
yeah,
when he gets back.
Then he spies on people leaving his party in the morning.
Goes and that's why I was talking about that spot that he may have had across the street.
Yeah.
From the trailer there, and he's kind of
chill
standing
zone.
behind, peeking, watches these guys. They're still obviously drunk when they get in their car. You know what I mean? Outside of his house, and they leave, and then he makes that little like backdoor entrance that's very nonchalant and.
And
That's
Linda
so
gives him
me.
a kiss on the mouth, but then
yeah,
she kind of
she's
turns
so.
away awkwardly.
I mean, and he is like, you know, De Niro's super handsome. He's this big,
Yeah.
strong man. He's home. He's made it for the war. He's the only one that's not fucking retarded or missing.
Right. We don't know where
And-
Stevie is still at this point. We
Yeah.
haven't seen him
True.
since the incident where he's on the hood of the car.
He is their only hope of this, you know, small town, you know, procreating with any sort of, you know, usable, no extra chromosome babies going around.
But yeah, Linda at the same time now inside the trailer is like showing him this sweater that she knitted for Nick, and then she's like making it seem like she's gonna alter it to fit Mike now. Like
Yeah.
all of a
Great
sudden,
metaphor.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like in her mind, I'm thinking like maybe she thinks that Nick is not coming home, so all of a sudden I'm gonna fall in love with Mike now. Like,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the way it seemed to me,
yeah, for sure.
And at that point,
But
I'm
she's
like,
also like, I was hoping you had Nikki with you. And
Right,
he's like,
of course.
he's AWOL.
Yeah,
That's all we
absolutely.
know. And Nick never wrote to her, never called her. You know?
and I think that whole entire idea from her end like adds to Mike's character in this movie because it's just, you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there thinking like, how the fuck does he feel right now?
I think he's got some guilt. He feels like he left Nick in Vietnam, which Nick begged him not to do.
He's got a lot of
Which,
jealousy and envy too, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
At the same time, that's building up.
So they go. He walks her to
he
work.
has to walk her to work, and she goes, Mike, you're so weird.
He
Such a
is.
gentleman.
He's a weird gentleman.
Yep.
And he tells her while they're walking, he's like, I'm so sorry about Nick, and I know it'll never be the same. And then he's like, can I see you later? And my response is like, she lives in your house. So yeah.
It's funny too when he's walking into work. That one guy walks by her and he tries to like smack her ass, and he's like, "What's up, hot lips?" And Mike turns around. I'm like, "Oh, he almost kills this dude." But then Meryl Streep is like, "No, stop!" Like, and she pulls him back. They're literally out from the supermarket at that
every
point,
day.
For
you
sure.
know. And yep.
Well, she's been getting around as the implication there, so that she fucked up everybody in the town.
Oh, you
I
think?
don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I was about to say, dude. Whoa, like,
Goddamn,
I don't think
dark
so.
mind.
Shouldn't
Yeah,
cast
man.
aspersions on Linda,
Yeah.
but You know, she's got an abusive father. She's looking for daddy.
This is what happens when you stop watching porn. After a
The
year.
world becomes porn. 6 months, but
Or the world already is. You just don't see it till you cut out the fake shit.
So she comes home from work.
Well, he meets back up with the boys, and they get to drinking, and he asks about Angela. And he didn't know Steve was back, and, like, they don't know where Steve is.
Yeah, and he's
nobody
frantically
will
saying,
say.
well, where's Steven? Where is he?
Yeah.
And they were like, won't tell him. And
They don't
at
know,
that point,
'cause
the
Angela
suspense
won't
is
tell
like,
them.
right. And then what the fuck is up with this next part? I still clearly don't understand. He ends up going to see her.
She's like catatonic.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? What is she? Is she like? I don't know. Is she addicted to drugs? Is she can't speak? Is she's in the
I
bed?
don't
She
know.
can't
There's
talk.
no
Like,
explanation for this. It's irritating.
it's
Yeah.
very odd because like the last time you see her before that, she's definitely not like that. But now that she's got this child running around, we at that point I don't know. Does she know what's going on with Steven? Like, is this the
She
reason?
knows because she writes down the phone number for Mike. But she's kind of, she's like nonverbal.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
A lot of people in this movie just kind of get traumatized and act crazy, and it's
just
annoying.
They go from, they start in this really happy place. Everything's so good and sweet.
And it's just slowly dragging you into how like this war has just affected so many people back at home.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know,
And he goes back to the house and he's like, gets his gear together and he's about to leave. And Linda's like, let me make you dinner. And he's like, no. And then she's like, can we just go to bed?
Yeah. Can you just fucking knock the back out of the front?
Can't we just
for me?
comfort each other?
Yeah.
and then the crazy part is he won't sleep there. He needs to go back to that hotel. And in my opinion, I think that he's there because the noise outside that hotel with the train in the area is what he's used to sleeping with over there. So he has to be in that hotel rather than being in the quietness of his own home.
Basically just saying that all men are interchangeable.
Kind of. Do you think that they have sex at this point? Because now she's like in a towel.
Oh, at the hotel?
Well, no, because then he's still in his uniform.
He's in his uniform,
but
just
she
laying
will
on his
not
back.
take off. He keeps walking
Right.
around in his damn uniform, trying to get free breakfast at Waffle House or whatever.
Right.
Get that 10% Walmart discount, dog.
But she cuddles up to him in the towel while he's in his uniform, and then
Do they have Waffle House in Pennsylvania? I don't think so.
There's of course, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
they're all
late-night Waffle
all
House,
bowling. Mike is there, still in his damn uniform, and he's like staring at her while she's looking back at him while they're bowling. And the song that's playing is like, "Your tattletale eyes." It's very obviously like, all right, they're into each other.
Yeah.
They then go hunting. There's this beautiful, probably my favorite shot in the movie is the mountains with Mike like walking around on the mountains and the big clouds behind him. It's super cool. But
And he comes on the most glorious 10 point
Dude,
ball.
10 point. I
it
counted more
12?
like 15, dude. It was crazy.
what does that even mean? That's how many points.
How many
the
points are
Hornets
on the,
have?
the bucks?
It's a very, very big
It's a
buck.
big
it's
buck,
like the
biggest
most
buck I've ever seen.
prized deer you could hunt, you know?
But he shoots at it and he misses, and the buck just stands there, but he doesn't do it again because one shot.
Yeah, yeah.
It almost seemed like he purposely missed it. Like something came over him right as he pulled the trigger, and he
I
kind of
feel
closed
like
his
that
eyes and
too.
pulled off. Right?
I feel like that too. I feel like that there's something there that like he's changed.
Yeah,
That this
yeah.
is Mike's development. That he's like,
Yeah.
you know, sort of either losing his touch or losing his
mind.
taste for conquering. You know, he's just like, you know, because he now has the woman that he wanted at his fingertips, and he's not going after that either, you know. And so he's kind of like a very changed person. Maybe like on the outside, he didn't, you know, lose this, but is this where he decides to go visit Steve?
No, this is where Axel is like making fun of Stan for having the gun, and he goes, "Why do you got that?" In case
Oh,
you come
yeah.
across
Right, they're in the-
one of
they're
your
in the little-
girlfriends sucking a forest
They're in the
ranger's
cabin.
cock.
Yeah.
And we noticed that John Cazale in this, he's coughing.
Yeah, because he has cancer.
So this dude, okay, and we'll be quick about this.
No, run it down. We got time.
So what was his first role?
Godfather.
Was it that? Okay, so his very first role was the brother and the like pinnacle arc moment of cinema history. Is he's the brother that, you know, betrays Vito Corleone, Michael Corleone,
Yep.
and gets killed, and then he is beside Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon.
He's in The Conversation.
The Conversation was the other one I was thinking
with
of.
Gene
Yeah.
Hackman.
Yeah, which is a fucking incredible movie. The guy was in nothing but incredible bangers, dude. And he started late in his career. Like he wasn't a young actor. And he's in Dog Day Afternoon. He is Al Pacino's partner, who's their reason they're robbing the bank is so he can get his his wiener cut off. And well, whatever the technical fucking progressive term for that is.
No, that was correct.
No hate. Just trying to cut to the chase. Saying, and then he's in this, and he actually they tried to kick him off of this movie because he was so sick. He was like hard to film. Right?
Yeah, he's coughing all the time.
He's coughing all the time, but he was dating Meryl Streep in real life.
Really?
And she said if they fired him...
Crazy pull for him. Congrats.
Right?
Yeah, right.
What the fuck?
It's ugly as hell.
His dick must be like ridiculously large. Great sense of
he
humor.
is Italian.
Well,
so.
he always plays this really sniveling, like snaky... I mean, I've always known of him as Fredo, so I've always hated him in my deepest heart of hearts,
Yeah.
But he, in every role he ever plays, he's never like a leading man. He's always the second guy. But anyway, the whole reason is because he's sick and dying of cancer. He died like 2 months after this movie came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his final movie. But he's like got the shortest and biggest, credits.
Career. All these 5 movies that he was in were nominated for Oscars.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
won
it's
Oscars,
insane.
actually.
Just like, and then just deuced lung cancer. Meryl Streep's his girlfriend. What an interesting guy that like nobody knows about. I thought that was
I think
really
a lot of
fucking-
people know about him.
Well, they know about. They don't know that though. I had
knew.
no idea. You knew all of that.
Yeah,
That Meryl Streep was his
No, I
girlfriend.
didn't know that part.
Okay, so fuck you then.
But he threatens Axel with a gun after Axel makes this comment to him, and then Mike grabs it from him and Stan's like, it's not even loaded. And Mike checks the chamber, and it is loaded.
It is loaded.
Shoots
Yep.
it in his
Yeah.
Shoots
ceiling.
in the ceiling. Yep.
So then he does Russian roulette on Stan, and Stan's like scared as hell, and then he goes and throws the gun into the woods. So there's this kind of thing of like these fucking guys that didn't go to war for whatever reason. I don't know why they didn't get drafted. Maybe it's just luck of the draw, but it's like they don't understand this shit, and they're still messing around, having fun with these guns,
Right.
and he's like not having it.
No.
He doesn't like that they're risking each other's lives.
Yeah.
Because he's fully pointing this fucking loaded gun at Axel, which that is fun with playing around with guns with your friends is hilarious.
I never thought it was funny.
It's funny.
I mean, I used to have a friend that used to do that, who was actually, in my opinion, he was the Michael of our group, but he drank a little too much, and he'd get careless with the firearms.
This was like the rapper drug dealer guys that I used to record. It would be like a funny bit they would be like, I'll fucking shoot you.
That's hilarious.
It was funny.
No, man, pointing a loaded gun at somebody.
Yeah.
Oh no, he'd think it's funny.
I mean, they would be like, yo, let me get a Gatorade. And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, oh.
Yeah, it was never funny to me. I mean, just because
Very high.
just because I had one of my best friends die, and then when we went to his viewing, I had my other best friend blow his head off in the bathroom during the viewing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had
Way to kill the mood.
three of my best friends that I
That's
grew up with all died.
real
in,
story.
Like
I know,
back to back
big
days,
time.
man. It was wild. One of them got paralyzed when we were in high school, and in a football game that we were playing, a tackle football game, he got paralyzed from the neck down. And a couple of years later, 2012, he died due to his injuries. We were at the viewing, and all of a sudden, gunshot goes off in the bathroom. My other best friend Marty blows his head off in the bathroom during the viewing.
No shit.
The very next day, guy, who was he just overdosed. Next day, my other best friend.
Really?
All died in like this, like back to back to back.
Which is another reason that I think this movie is like resonated with you also. Is
Yeah,
this
for sure.
People
I
that
did
grew
not
up
realize that,
together
yeah.
just having
Yeah.
this traumatic
Yeah.
shit happen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, no, we didn't. And I mean, I didn't grow up around guns either. At that point in time.
So this was
still
a
young.
small community. This was Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, Scranton Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Yeah. Yep.
I did a big job near there in Binghamton,
Binghamton.
New York. Yeah,
So-
which is not that far from there.
When 2012, I was locked up. I got out, and I did 22 months. On a 48-month sentence, I got out and I got paroled, and they sent me to the Salvation Army in Binghamton, New York.
Oh, no shit.
Just about an hour away, and I made it through there. I did 7 months there. I made it right through there, and then as soon as I got out, I relapsed again. Right back for the rest of the time. But it was in between. I was actually in the Salvation Army when this happened.
Oh, really?
Yes. When I left the Salvation Army, went back to Scranton for the funeral and the viewing.
No
and then
shit.
this happens,
And
while
your
we were
friend
there.
that took his life at the funeral, was this directly related to the loss of your other friend? Or
Yeah,
was this
for
he
sure.
was just kind of not
For sure. Just didn't know how to deal with it.
Really?
All of us, because he was...
$2 down, bro.
Yeah, he was, I mean, he didn't really say much about it, and I hadn't spent a lot of time around him at that time. But I mean, he took it very hard from the time that the initial injury happened my junior year of high school when my friend Jesse got paralyzed.
And you guys were all there during that game.
I was there. I was playing on his team, yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yep. He just got tackled from behind and his head hit the ground first. But the pull of his body and the momentum of his body, it rolled his shoulder back up over his head and it fractured all of his vertebrae. My mom was working at the hospital when he got rushed to the hospital. And
How long did he live after that?
So that was 2006, 2012, 6 years. Yep.
In like a vegetative state?
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah, we saw him maybe twice in those 6 years. His mom had him in the van, then he would kind of just be in the back seat. He couldn't even really talk or anything. It was they didn't even think that he would live that long. At that point.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
But the crazy part is that my friend Angelo had got built a life for himself, had a wife and a 2-year-old daughter, and he hadn't gotten high in 5 years. And then next day after Marty commits suicide at the funeral, very next day Angelo found him in a movie theater parking lot.
Relapsed 5 years sober.
5 years sober.
Yeah.
Find him in a movie theater parking lot with a needle still in his arm.
That's a pretty, unfortunately typical scenario where guys will put a lot of time in between themselves and getting high. And then there's something in a drug addict's brain, as we're talking about retarded people today, we try to use the word retarded as much as possible, that they're retarded and think that after 5 years they can use the same amount of narcotics they were using when they were using on a daily basis, and they get killed immediately.
Yep.
They say when Philip Seymour Hoffman, when they found his body, he had 50 bags of dope, and only 3 of them were opened.
He had been using for a minute, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that he was relapsing.
It's crazy
He
too.
relapsed months earlier.
He was going hard as fuck in the paint.
For sure,
he had like a brick with him, and
he loved heroin.
yeah, dude, and he didn't even get into it. 3 out of 50. That's kind of a bummer.
He'd been going after it for a minute.
And Angelo was he had moved down to West Palm Beach from Pennsylvania, and he went to rehab there and was running a rehab. He was working at it. That's where he met his wife and his daughter, and then they flew back up there just for that. And then there was some girl was with them, and she left her purse in the car. Called 911, left her purse in the car. The cops got there. They found all the bags of heroin in her purse, had her cell phone and her ID and everything there, and they charged her with manslaughter. She's doing 12 years right now for that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she called 911 from his phone, and then she just ran, but left her purse and all of her belongings in the front passenger seat of the car. And Angelo is there sticking with a needle sticking on his arm, dead. So they go through her purse naturally, find all the drugs, match them up, find her ID, and yeah.
So she served him. That's why she got caught the manslaughter.
What the story that they figured out is that he went on some skip the games kind of site to try and find some prostitute who knew where to get it, because obviously he's back at home now. He hasn't gotten high and lived there in 5 years.
Yeah.
He has nobody to call. So that's how he found it. He didn't even know this girl from the back of his hand. He had no idea who she was. They had no connection with each other other than a phone call on the phone the day before or earlier that day. He had picked her up somewhere and met her at the movie theater, and that was it. Yeah. Didn't know her or anything.
Yeah, well.
It's wild. Yep.
Fucking shit.
A lot of loss packed into a couple days.
Yeah. And then, that played a huge role in what happened with me right after that. I was in the Salvation Army when that happened, and I was probably 5 months into it. I went back to the Salvation Army from there 2 months. 2 days after I graduated there, got high again.
Yeah, the parallels there are pretty uncanny, actually, considering the fact that, in a sense, that football game was you guys Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of got a little.
Yep.
It kind of puts pretty interesting perspective for somebody like you that, because I always say to people that are in recovery that they don't realize what statistical anomalies they are. That most people that are born with or whatever develop the disease of addiction or alcoholism throughout their lives. The vast majority of those people live miserable fucking lives and die miserable fucking deaths.
Yep.
Those are facts. Those are like mathematical facts, statistical facts. But when three of your friends, I mean, not necessarily your friend that was hurt, but it sounds like the gunshot guy maybe had some deep-seated issues resulting from that trauma.
Yeah.
Obviously, the
they
drug
lived in the
addiction.
same street growing up. They were
and you were in prison, so you weren't exactly like killing it.
Yeah.
And
right.
I was
away
there.
for.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
I was away for a while, man. Right when I got out of high school, I didn't make it too long. I went to college, played baseball for a year, 2 years. I got a DUI after my freshman year.
Hell of a DUI also.
Yeah, I drove my car straight into a tree. I took one Xanax pill on my birthday, August 8th, 2019 or 2009, excuse me.
Yeah, I caught my first DUI on my 18th birthday.
Yeah, mine was my 19th birthday, and I drank. They said I drank like 40 Natty Ices or something.
Nice.
I have no recollection of it. I drove my car straight into a tree, and it came to rest. It goes through the tree, comes to rest right at the door where the entrance to the University of Scranton security office is. So, like, you can see this. I end up getting out of the car. The engine goes through the firewall, shoots the middle console right up through the middle.
No.
I'm like hurt bad, right?
Yeah.
But at the scene, at the time, you can see the camera from the University of Scranton security office. The guys can't get out the door because I have the cars blocking the door, and I'm on the hood of the car like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Dude, it's crazy. Office. So then, oh man, it turned out to be a really, really bad night for me. My mom and dad were in Atlantic City.
Way.
My mom and dad are in Atlantic City for the weekend, and I woke up in the holding cell in the police station, and as soon as I opened my eyes, dude, I didn't know what happened. Yeah. I thought I got jumped because I knew as soon as I opened my eyes I couldn't move, and then I just turned to the cop there, and I'm like, why am I in here? And he just loses his shit on me. Turns out, man, they had me like hog tied in the back of the paddy wagon. Ugh. Like it was bad, dude.
Yeah.
And
you earned it.
So that was yeah, man.
They went pretty rough on him.
Yeah. So
you would too. You got to think, Scott. You were being a serious aggressor. He literally drove a fucking car into a building.
Not on purpose.
It got even worse once I read the affidavit. It got worse.
I've been pepper sprayed. I've been hogtied.
Yeah.
The night that I got a 5-year sentence, I did 20 months on.
Right.
And they hogtied me and drug me across the parking lot because I hurt a cop real bad. That's how I got my sentence. I assault on a Leo.
Yeah.
And so no shirt. I had.
Oh man.
So and they gave me a scrub top when I got to the county.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep in it, and I woke up and it was scabbed to my chest. Yeah, taking it off. I still remember that pain.
Oh man. Yeah.
It was fucked.
Yeah, man.
And today can admit that I deserved every little bit of that.
Oh yeah.
I was doing some pretty horrible shit.
And I guess once the Scranton cops got on the scene, they had like one cop that was like sitting me down on the curb, and I don't know. I guess I was telling him I was fucking his wife and shit. It's
here's the thing.
So like that part led to the next part of it.
That we deserved it, but it's like a boxer getting all crying for getting knocked out cold. It's like, bitch, you got in the ring.
Right. You got in the ring. You put yourself in that situation. Yeah. And I had never been arrested before. I had never had anything like that.
And you didn't fuck the guy's wife, for real.
Yeah.
No, right. So you know what?
I got a good one of those.
The crazy part is that, it almost seemed like after reading the affidavit and then seeing, because my mom and dad come to pick me up at the police station. Well, it turns out that the hospital they brought me to take my blood was my mom's unit at the hospital there, and she's a nurse, and they're not there, but the other nurse is like, he needs to be admitted. And the cops are like, no, he's not being admitted, he's fine. And the lady's like, dude, he's not fine, he's drunk. Like, and so there's like a lawsuit involved because I got taken out of the holding cell on a stretcher, with multiple injuries, dude. And this is how I got it hooked on pay pills. This was the beginning of it. But it was just, it was odd because it almost seemed like the cop who I was telling this to, like, he actually believed me. Like, he must have really thought I was fucking his wife, because like everything that they did after that was just added to the already damage that I had 7 cracked ribs. Like, it was bad.
Somebody was fucking his wife.
Yeah,
somebody was.
He is not happy.
Man, so that was, And then, the crazy part is this happens, and they give me some slap on the wrist, like ARD program, kind of like the PTI is here, whatever, first time offender thing.
Yeah.
Which is partially because of how they got treated.
Correct. Yeah. So, because I did have like assault, they charged me with like assault. There was a whole other slew of charges. The University of Scranton sued me and for property damage, and it was so. Anyway, I go on this program for 6 months. Well, my mom ended up giving me some Vicodin the one day when I was held up in my room and I had a headache. She had been giving it to me as prescribed, and I told her I had a headache, and she brought me up. I thought she was going to bring me some headache pills, and she gets them in my room, and she's like, here's 3 Vicodin. I don't have any headache pills. And I took them, and I specifically remember, like it was yesterday, I sat up in my bed and I said it out loud. I said, I'm doing this again tomorrow. Yeah. And that was it. Yeah. And I got off that program, that 6-month program, and I was, it went from 30s to Oxy 60s, Oxy 80s, then they turned into OP, and then I got introduced to heroin for the first time. And I literally made it 2 months, and I stole 17 checks off this old lady that I was sleeping with, and I wrote all these checks to myself, and they hit me with like 60 felony charges. 3 felony charges.
Felony MILF hunting.
Yeah, man. I remember I had an away baseball game at New Jersey Institute of Technology on a weekend, and I woke up on a Friday morning in this lady's bed, and she wasn't there, and I was sick, and I had to play some. I played like 20 games my sophomore year of college, high on pain pills. Yeah, and it's crazy because too a 95 mile an hour fastball when you're just high enough on pain pills is like 80 miles an hour. So I'm having like a career year through 20 games. But I'm getting high every single game, dude. Yeah. So I end up waking up and I have no money and I need to go to a doubleheader away from out of town, and I see your checkbook there, and bang, I took the whole checkbook, and there was like 17 or 18 checks left in it. And I wrote one that day. I came back and I just wrote a bunch of them. She ended up blocking my number. I knew she knew about it. And then the cops like tapped my phone after like I cashed 10 of them, and they hit me with like criminal use of a communication facility, like 5 of those charges. Wow. So I had a grand theft. They hit me with 3 felonies for each check. Yeah. And then the criminal use of a communication facility, I believe 5 counts of that. And we had like a family lawyer, and I was the same lawyer I had for the DUI. This is like not even 8-9 months ago. Yeah. And then, he's like, dude, I can't help you this time.
Really?
No, I mean,
he don't like money?
He liked money, but I had so many felony charges, nothing you could do about it. He's like, you're going to jail. But little did I know, I was going to go in front of the same judge that I went in front of for the DUI. And he was like, you're going to prison. Now, I graduated Catholic high school. Yeah. I'm in a upper middle class area in Scranton, wearing a shirt and tie and a suit coat every day for 4 years in high school with a 3.9 GPA. Get out of there, and now 2 years later, I'm going to state prison. So when I got there, that was a rude awakening. That's where I had to grow up pretty fast. What year was that? 2009. I went at the end of 2009, and then probably was beginning of 2010 actually. And then I did 22 months. I got out in 2012. I was out for about 8 months. And then I went back to finish. So in Pennsylvania, they give you a bottom and a top number. Yeah. I got sentenced to 24 to 48 months. Uh-huh. So they ended up getting all 40. They got like 40 months out of me out of 48. And I got released in 2014, and I moved right here. Oh, shit. And that's another story. How I ended up down here. So that's how I ended up in Florida. My mom and my dad and my brothers moved to Florida when I was in prison up there.
Hooked on heroin, just like Nick. Just like Nicky.
Yeah.
Yep. But De Niro, Mike, Hunts, all this. Now, the scene where he goes to visit Stevie, where Mike goes to visit Stevie.
Wow.
Yes.
This is a fucking intense scene.
Intense.
How do you feel about this scene, Tony? Is this too unbelievable?
No. What do you mean?
I don't know. I just feel like you having problems today with suspension of disbelief.
I don't like the Russian roulette crap.
Which is the whole deer hunter thing, though.
It's believable that there's an amputee in the hospital that's freaking out.
Go find someone on tonight, wherever you are, and say, "Did you ever see Deer Hunter?" and see if they don't equate this film with Russian Roulette. Is the identity? I'm sure they will,
which is why it sucks that it was just a completely made up thing.
Well. Really, though? Yeah. I mean, no, it's not. Russian Roulette exists.
It's not a game that POWs were forced to play, or one that was commonly gambled on in Saigon. I feel like you're
splitting hairs.
Nah.
Yeah, big time. Anyway.
Important element of the movie that
I'm sure everyone agrees with me, and nobody agrees with you. And, You know what it does kind of bother me about this is you can tell that Stevie has legs. That they're just inside of the.
So that.
I never even thought of it like that. I didn't.
It bothers me.
I was like, this guy. They cut his legs off for the movie. That's crazy.
They immediately go to him playing bingo there.
Yeah,
with everybody,
and it's just so emotional.
It
bro.
is emotional.
And
it's
then
upsetting.
you go and we find out there's this drawer full of cash, and Nick's been sending Stevie money.
Correct.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh. And if you're not retarded, then you can kind of figure that he's been making all this money.
Playing roulette.
The Russian roulette in Vietnam in the 70s during the war as a career. And it's amazing.
It is crazy.
And
it's preposterous.
That's who gives a shit. I mean, of all the
he's doing all
fucking
this
things
to get
that we
money
watch,
to Stevie, and it's like
of all the things that we watch, the Russian roulette aspect of the deer hunter is the one that you grab a hold of to be preposterous. But
it just annoyed me.
It makes
everybody there's playing Russian roulette constantly, like it's the national sport of Vietnam.
Dude, at the time, you might as well have been. You know?
No, it wasn't.
It
What do you mean?
occupies 12 minutes of the fucking screen time of the movie.
But you just said it's the iconic thing from the movie.
Because it's so crazy, because it's so over the top,
it's such an
because
emotional,
it's so wild. And that's the beauty of it, is the fact that, obviously there's not this Russian roulette ring like in real life.
Yeah,
but this is a wild thing.
It just wouldn't happen.
But we get the idea that somebody's fucking farted in this room.
That wasn't me?
It wasn't me. Farted?
No.
Was it me? What's that smell then?
I don't know.
Anyway,
It's Jack.
Somebody's not owning it, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't me. I had my sights on Tony for that one.
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't me.
And
it was definitely. Look at that face. Yeah, it was him.
I didn't do anything of the sort.
And then
you read 3 coins last night. Just admit it, dude.
Stevie doesn't want to fucking leave this shitty, weird place.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to go home.
And Mike wants him to, and they're sort of fighting, and Mike is like dragging this legless man. And we discover that Stevie has no legs in this scene, which they kind of allude to in the scene
when he lands out of the helicopter.
This discovery that happens is Stevie.
Another thing I did not like, the phone call between them prior to that.
Yeah.
It's just Mike going, hey.
It is very awkward.
And Stevie going, Michael. And Mike's like, hey.
That is obviously on purpose.
Yeah, hey.
It's obviously on purpose.
But it brings you right back.
Like,
it brings you right back to my childhood without cell phones and using a payphone. Like, that was it.
You just call people and not say anything, just say their name.
It wasn't
what
that
is
you
there
did,
to say? You're just touching base, and
you're
it's
like, hey, you still got legs?
Well, he knows that something severe has happened because of the way that everybody reacts when he asks them where he's at.
But there's an old interview, AFI 100, and they're interviewing De Niro, and he says that this is the most emotional scene of his career.
Him trying to drag Stevie out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because he's like, I don't know, it's this friendship thing. And, Stevie started out on the spectrum. Then he took a bullet glaze to the brain. Now he's lost his legs. We've got a certifiable Timmy from South Park on our hands. And we're wrestling him. And it's
and
that had
seems like it would be easier.
Seems like it'd be hard not to bust out laughing.
I think that when Mike sees all the money in the drawer, I think that gives him his first inclination that Nicky is still alive playing Russian roulette. He knows where Nicky is. He knows right where to go find him. And I think that at that point he's like, oh, there's a whole other situation now that's developed in his mind while he's right smack dab in the middle of that scene.
And he grabs all the money also. Why don't you give that to Stevie's kid? Why do you got to go save Nick's dumbass?
Yeah. So he goes right back, and this is like probably
another unbelievable thing that you'd just be allowed to be like, "Yo, can I go back to Saigon?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
What's the? Yeah, they show him landing at the embassy and trying to get out of the embassy
it's a
there.
Mess,
it's a fucking nightmare, dude.
Yeah, people are trying to get in. They want to escape. Yeah. It's a lot like when we left Afghanistan.
Well, he's a war hero, and he can do whatever he wants.
In my opinion, it's so unrealistic to just go back there. Like, I'm going back. Send me back to Vietnam. What?
Can I just hitch a ride back to Vietnam to save my friend?
But you have to get this great scene, and we find out that not only...
It's a great scene. The fall of Saigon is amazing.
Not only Nick is, doing this professional Russian roulette player, champion of Saigon.
Paying taxes.
The famous
Totally
American.
believable.
The famous American.
Totally believable, totally relatable, totally wonderful situation.
I'd like to see you pursue this career.
They go.
That'd be great.
This and this dates back to the situation where they're
I'm playing economic Russian roulette with every child that I have.
It goes back to where they're sitting back to back against the basketball pole.
Yeah. He has to.
Where
He's like, I'll go save him.
makes him promise that he will not leave him there.
But then
again, my last nitpick, unrealistic. Mike is clearly blacked out in that scene. He's not going to remember that shit. He's fucking naked.
But
Go on.
we get a couple of things here about Nicky's state. So he's still doing this thing, but
Michael finds him because he runs into the French guy.
Yeah, he grab his arm, and it shows his arm is fucking track marked, all the shit.
You're skipping how he gets to Nick though.
Yeah. He knows where to go.
Yeah,
he's already been in that basement.
He goes and finds the French guy. The French guy says he doesn't know where Nick is.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is now Nick is like entrenched in this game. They're feeding him heroin to continue playing, but Mike knows he needs all that money to get himself at that fucking table.
Yes.
So that's, I think, why he takes all the money from the drawer, knowing I'm going to need all this money to convince somebody to sit me down in front of Nick, because I think that's the only way that he thinks he's going to get him to come home.
He has to pay $1,000 just to get into the room.
Right.
Fucking didn't even put together that he took all the money that Nick had sent just for this fucking bullshit. Yeah.
Just to get back in there.
He's got a baby
I thought
and
it was,
everything.
I knew Nick had been obviously getting high there. But then when he pulled his arm down, the track marks are so violent in that scene. They are violent track marks, dude.
Yeah.
I have been, you know what I mean? I know what track marks look like, bro. Those are like
his
bear
teeth
claw
are all
marks.
fucked up. Noticeably fucked up teeth, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, he's not looking great.
Well, he has the Donald Trump makeup on too. He's got makeup all over. To his point, he's completely white.
Yeah.
They try and really make it seem like he is junked out as much as possible on this.
And I know I'd seen the movie before, and I feel like, even if you didn't, you knew where this was going. But still, when he Christopher Walken pulls the trigger one too many times.
Yep.
And it's Robert De Niro grabbing his head and trying to cover the wound with his hand.
Oh, Nicky, why?
That's
screaming.
Fucking heavy shit,
dude.
Teresa was genuinely upset. She was like, "This is how this fucking ends." She was mad.
I knew it ended I knew it ended like that, but I knew I needed to go rewatch the lead up to it again. Because the first time I watched it, I was right where Nicky was at the time, gone, man. You know what I mean? And I think that
and they all, and they come back home
rough,
with his body, and they all do. There's this pretty drawn, Stevie's in the wheelchair at the funeral. Obviously, his legs are inside of the wheelchair. We can all tell.
I didn't notice this at all.
I didn't either. I wasn't paying any attention to that.
And then they all sit around the table and they're blank face singing "God Bless America," having breakfast.
Yeah, at the same bar that they're.
Why are they doing that? Why are they singing "God Bless America"?
Because they love our country, bro.
Yeah, but why is it in such this monotone?
I don't know. They're moved by.
It's just an emotional mess.
Gloomily satirical,
I feel like it's just
the movie's about Vietnam and Vietnam being a huge mess for America, and it
shows you that bright contrast, at the beginning where they're all happy at the wedding and enjoying life, to now the same group minus Nicky now sitting in this bar,
Stevie's
the same
legs,
bar that they're always partying in.
There.
Stevie's there with no legs. And you have this situation. It's the same people, but their lives are completely torched at this point, from this war.
Yeah.
But the war, not even being the big part of it. It's just the result of being in war. And for me, that was just that was.
It's about that, and it's about the professional sport of Russian roulette.
Yeah,
it was definitely a real thing.
in
Vietnam in the 70s.
I'm not gonna. I have no idea, but
no.
I feel like it's. I don't know. It's just. It's a deep, dark movie.
We 2-3 weeks ago did a fucking episode about an alien from Krypton who can fly. And today we're arguing about Russian roulette.
Oh, I saw that. I saw clips of that.
It's just funny the things that we choose to, get all worked up about.
When he was talking to me about coming on here, and I saw some of the clips, and he's like, you pick a movie and watch it, and I'm like, I know exactly what movie I want to watch.
I think Deer Hunter was a great topic. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We're over 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
We're like well over 2 hours here.
It was a no-brainer for me.
We might not even have camera battery life going, which we're gonna have to figure out something on how to do, or at least know how much time we have on the battery. But closing thoughts on the movie. We're gonna start with $2 Tony. I think we know what you think, so maybe we don't. I
think it's a great piece of work. I think that it's incredibly. The production design is amazing. The scene with the fall of Saigon and the whole city on fire and people running around is
pretty
beautiful.
Intense. Yeah.
I question some of the character arcs just don't really hit for me. I guess.
So
there were no documented cases of Russian roulette in the Vietnam War.
Quickly. Cimino's career basically consists of Deer Hunter. And
he made a movie after this called Days of Heaven, I think, or Gates of Heaven, that was a tremendous bomb. It was like one of the most expensive movies ever made and failed. And now lately, he made some movie recently that's like...
Because that movie's 45 years old, Deer Hunter.
So he made this movie called The Sun Chaser in 1996 with Woody Harrelson that just looks like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
So that's not recently.
I think this movie's carried by incredible acting, and that the guy that made it is a kind of wild dude. There's also, if you look into this whole controversy over who wrote the movie, where Cimino claims that the guy Washburn was drunk and Cimino wrote every word of it, and Washburn is like, that's a lie. I didn't have a single drink while working on it, and there's just all this stuff about it, and a lot of controversy. The Wikipedia page is extremely long and interesting, but they gave the extras real booze during the wedding scene.
During the wedding scene, they had them all bring those gifts. That big stack of gifts is all real. Gifts that Cimino told people to bring. He wanted it to be very realistic.
Right.
I think the backstory on this movie is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching it.
I did fart just now.
You probably farted earlier. You just weren't paying attention.
I wouldn't have noticed. I have tight butt.
So, one of my favorite things about this podcast, which I didn't really think was going to be a thing. I mean, I guess I just wasn't paying attention, but I'm being forced to watch a movie every week. Instead of just like whatever current, Netflix show or whatever the fucking, I'm just like really glad about that. I'm having a lot of fun doing that. And I'm not just watching it. I'm watching it and I'm taking notes and I'm preparing to have a conversation about it. Right. And Deer Hunter was a great fucking choice.
For sure.
In my opinion, the older the movie and the more sort of like out of my realm, the better. Sometimes I'm getting movies that I've seen a bunch of times, which is cool and fun, but I thought this was a cool choice, man.
It fits the mission of the program also, because I do think there's parts about it that like line up with.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the parallels, man. So that was kind of
for sure,
getting to know you and about your crazy story there.
Yep.
But
it was a no-brainer for me with this. And you know what? A lot of it ties back into too with my dad. My dad passed away in 2022.
Okay, I'm sorry, man.
And this was my dad passed away in May of 2022. He had a heart attack right in my arms. So this was probably back in 2018 or so, and we, it was just a toxic situation at the time. But this movie took completely it just took my mind over for one night, where I was just able to sit down and forget about what the hell was going on in my life at the time and get sucked into this movie. And then, to come on here with the idea of watching a movie and just the parallels with my life and addiction, and it brought me back. And I knew that it wasn't something that everybody has seen. You just don't hear people talking about the Deer Hunter on a regular basis these days. So I knew it is an older movie, and I feel like it taught me a little bit about just how the Vietnam War affected people, because I was not born at that point in time, and I just didn't really, I didn't understand exactly just how devastating the effects and consequences of that war played on families. And then having it be in Pennsylvania, where I grew up, there's a bunch of parallels with it.
I didn't know about
for
that
me.
That,
and you know what? I'm glad that I was, clear-minded enough to think about that, because I personally thought it was a great choice, and I'm glad you did too. So
yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it again. This.
Yeah.
We've been having a lot of fun making these. We didn't get to talk about the Foo Fighters today. We're going to have that conversation later. Not the Foo Fighters totally, but the Foo Fighters' first album specifically.
Can't wait.
Yeah, you're going to fucking...
he played all the instruments?
Yeah. Did you? Did you know the incredible loss that some of us felt from Kurt Cobain and the sort of...
Yeah, Dave should have died.
the
Should
sort
have
of
been Dave.
I don't know, man. You know,
Think about if Kurt Cobain was around now, though, like writing anti-Trump songs.
Yeah, it would be, he would be seriously overweight, and his hair would be pink. It'd be a mess. But I'll stick
He'd probably
around.
be Carly Cobain by this point.
I'll stick around is a fucking badass rock and roll song. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, and I'm gonna make you listen to it. Oh, so
Shirley Cobain.
do we? What do you think about a song to close this?
Yeah. You get to pick a song to end the
Trevor.
episode.
A song to end the episode.
And
Yes,
while
sir.
you're thinking,
And then
we're gonna tell the people that are listening that we have an email. It's it's called The Jimmy Spice Show @gmail.com. It's just a little email, and we'd like to start a segment where we just answer questions or we talk about topics that you guys bring up. If anybody's listening and they want to send an email in, we would appreciate, just sort of interacting with the people that are listening. So hit me up, The Jimmy Spice Show @gmail.com. And what are we doing as an outro track?
Ooh, I don't even know, man, because the music I listen to has just nothing to do with what we've talked about all day.
It doesn't have to, man.
So let's go with.
I'll stick around. Foo Fighters.
Young Dolph.
No. I'm gonna go with. I want to go with "Follow Me" by Uncle Cracker.
Oh, damn. There it is, folks. Adios.
I love it.
Thank
Peace.
you.
All you know is when I'm with you, I make you free and swim through your veins like a fish in the sea. I'm singing, follow me, everything is alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night. And if you want to leave, I can guarantee you won't find nobody else like me.